So if you guys want to just go straight.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we're just
going
doing
straight through.
She's talk, baby.
My show sheet.
Yep.
And
You
we
can borrow mine.
are
We live?
live.
What
we
up?
are live, man.
What
we
up,
are
though?
live. What up, though? Detroit, man. This Wake Up Woodward. It's the
Wake
crew.
up.
Hey, JB, man, come at least just put your face in the camera, man. Let the people see you. We got the crew here.
Let's go.
We
Yes,
got
sir.
the crew here, man. And you know what? We got to make it work. However, we got to make it work, man. And I'm glad to be in the trenches with these guys here, man. You guys already know Detroit KG over here.
What up, though?
We got
No app.
JB Smooth, the GOAT. We got our Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers,
Good morning.
credentialed beat writer and reporter, Matt Broder. Matt Bro 21, my bro.
Hey,
It's your boy Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid. You guys already know we got to bring the swag. It's hat on backwards day today, man. It's been a day, but the one thing we wanted to do, we could have mailed the show home. We could have just been like, you know what? This is just not going to work today. But we wanted to be able to come and see you guys, man.
Right.
We're here. We had to make this work. This is Wake Up Woodward, baby. You can't
know.
wake up anywhere else.
Let's go.
Just dealing with a couple software issues, but hey, this is our Studio B. Used to film some, secondary content at the network, but there was so much that happened last night around Detroit sports, around sports in general. We couldn't not have our show. So here we go. We're gonna go at least until 10. We may be going a lot over. We'll see. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Where do you guys want to start?
You know what?
Beef stew socking
Yeah.
somebody? Is we get into it?
Wait, we will. But we do. We're caring people. We're gonna get to that, but we gotta make sure we at least give our condolences, man, our thoughts and our prayers out to the fans in Kansas City. You know,
Yeah.
I'll be bald for this part,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
We got to make sure that we take a moment to just a moment of silence, man. That what happened out there is tragic. I can't even imagine being a community that's on such a kind of a social and a community high, and to have it kind of dampened and damaged by the tragic events that happened there. So we'll definitely take a moment to just give them a moment of silence out of respect to those affected. And I personally pray that those affected can be consoled and grieved the correct way, and ultimately recover from this thing. All right.
I think it's important for us to all recognize that, acknowledge it, recognize it, maybe not bring attention to the negativity, the hate, the issues, but we got some big events coming up in Detroit, and we need to band together as a city. NFL draft is coming up soon, and I don't know. There's some crazy stuff going on in the world. And we're not going to stick on this topic and get political, but I think this is a time where a city like Detroit, especially rallying around our Detroit sports teams, it's as important as ever for us to come together. So that's what I have to say about it.
Yes, sir. And I'm glad to be here, man. I'm glad we decided to do this. It's it's a situation where ultimately, this is how Detroit does, man. We go to work.
Going to work.
We go to work.
You know who started that? Pistons.
Yeah,
2004
Back
Pistons.
in 2004
Go
Pistons. Hey,
Woodward.
guys. Some guys with the toughness similar to Beef Stew, but the dude keeps finding his name in the news for
man.
maybe all the wrong reasons.
My dog, Beef Stew, man.
You know what? Oh my gosh. I already knew that it was going to be an uphill battle playing the Phoenix Suns and everything, but Beef Stew just took this thing to a completely different level, and the Pistons almost got ran out the gym long before the game started, and the Phoenix Suns are saying that it was unprovoked. Isaiah Stewart, he punched Eubanks, man, of the Phoenix Suns. I have no idea what predicated this. I don't believe that he would just do it unprovoked. I feel like there had to have been something that happened in a prior game or something. But wow. And then things that escalated. The first kind of comments that we heard from the Phoenix Suns, I remember the Pistons sent out their PR email to all the media. We got that, and we were just like, wow, okay. So this thing is real. Because at first I was like, is this real? I had to check the Shams account multiple times to see, is this a real account? Like, he really walked up and punched somebody, and they said, look, we're investigating everything too. We're gathering information. Some of the media, the traveling media, like my guy, Mike Curtis, shout out to him. They did ask Asar Thompson, Jalen Duran, and those guys, can you speak on what happened? They said they couldn't talk about it, but ultimately this thing escalated quick. When the Phoenix Suns said that they were going to go and start to involve law enforcement, they did. And just to finish out the other half of this breaking news with Isaiah Stewart, he was ultimately arrested and charged with assault in this case.
That's crazy. So do we know where this happened at? Was this like a hallway incident, or this didn't happen in the game, correct?
No, it happened hours before the game. Shams, the report for him said that they actually, some type of altercation took place. They were chest to chest. There was yelling match. And then Beef Stew just hit him in the face.
Oh, my God.
Man. So this was before the game. I don't know why I thought it was after or in the tunnel after.
It seems like an after incident.
So it must have been caused from something. I don't know. I'm not in his head, but something happened between the two in past run-ins. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like a very smart decision. Especially this is the time the Pistons we've finally been talking positively about them. Like kind of there've been some good things happening. It's weird. I can't even see you over
I know, right?
I can hear
Kool-Aid
you,
head kind of big, so you know.
But even with Beef Stew, you've talked about, hey, maybe he can embrace this role coming off the bench as that bench, hybrid 4-5 type guy. And now it comes to this. Like, this isn't what the Pistons want in the news right now. This isn't what they want to have to deal with. They got plenty of other things to worry about.
It just seems like this has just been a season of the other shoe dropping for the wrong reasons, because on top of what Beef Stew went through and what he's still going to be dealing with and how this affects the Detroit Pistons moving forward as it relates to if they even decide, hey, are we retaining him going forward? Are we looking to trade him? Is he a part of this core? Does he represent our values? Then you got the other news with the Pistons, Cade Cunningham talking about this kind of load management for his knee and his leg injury and talking about the fact that, you know what, he has good days, he has bad days. And it seems like it's bothering him a little bit more than before he had the surgery. They had a way that they were managing this kind of leg, shin fracture that he's had since high school. He's like, I know how to play on it. I'm comfortable with it. I know how this feels already. Then the Pistons thought for the longevity of his career that it'd be better for him to go ahead and get the surgery, this kind of corrective surgery on his leg. And now all of a sudden he's dealing with, I think, a few more pains than he's used to. So this has not been, you talk about starting off your West Coast road trip where we were hoping that they could win one game. They lost to the Phoenix Suns, dropping them to 2-3 in this West Coast road trip, which is still better than a lot of people thought they'd be. But to be at this point where you got Beef Stew doing what he's doing, you have these Cade Cunningham comments, and you guys still the all-bench lineups for Monty Williams, it's a situation that just continues to any little glimmer of hope. All of a sudden, this team was just a couple games away from 500 after the trade. What their record was since the trades started, they were actually doing pretty good. Strung together 3, 4, 5, 6 wins over about, 12 or 13 or so games. And now it just seems like that little glimmer of hope that we've talked about earlier in the week, they're just doing everything they can to kind of dampen that.
When it rains, it pours.
When it rains, it pours, man.
Yeah.
So
do you think this is, I don't want to say the end for Beef Stew, but do you think this negatively impacts him being on the team going forward?
With me personally, I was already in a position where I thought he was kind of playing above his position already. Like, I didn't think he should be starting. And you talk about all the different trade rumors that he's been brought up in as well. Yeah, I do. I question sometimes, is this guy the right fit? And I think it makes it easier for the Detroit Pistons to make that decision.
Right.
If they're going to move away from him or whatnot. But then there's a lot of other people on the flip side. I saw some comments before the kind of assault charges and things came out, but I saw some comments that were like, yo, this is why I like Beef Stew. Yeah. This is the type of aggressiveness we want.
Detroit attitude.
Stand on business and whatnot. But that's where that's sometimes where I push back. Is like, if this was in game and somebody was trying to boss up on them, and that happened like the LeBron one. Yeah. Even if he would have got to LeBron and connected, I think everybody would have been like, okay, this is what happened within the game. This is kind of that business that's been handled. Yeah. Now, as more information comes out from the Detroit Pistons side, maybe it is a situation where we realize, no, this was something that Beast 2 had to handle. This was something that he had to make sure he brings a stop to this, because they're not going to be bullied. They're not going to be punked. But if it is, as the early reports are saying, then it's one of those situations where it's like, well, we don't want that reputation as Detroiters. If it's on the court, if it's within the game, if it's kind of those unwritten rules that were broken, and all of a sudden he's making sure to go back and kind of cash that check, then it's like, yeah. So I do want to wait and see what else comes about from this situation. I always thought he was like a heart and soul type player. I always thought he was one of those guys that, was definitely kind of our tough guy, our menace. You don't want to mess with him, our enforcer. That's a good word for it. But man, oh man, that's
tough, man.
That's a clean answer out of you, Kool-Aid. And this is our Detroit Pistons credentialed beat writer and reporter. So I'm going to pass it to KG. Do you have any more direct thoughts about Beef Stew moving forward? Like, what do you feel like his position on this team should be?
I do think he embodies that Detroit spirit, the Detroit attitude of being tough and not letting anybody punk you and stuff like that. But when it gets into levels that you're getting law enforcement involved and stuff like that, we all know the last time law enforcement got involved with this team, and that stain has been on us for quite some time, even still to this day.
Talking Malice at the Palace?
Oh yeah. So
I was there.
I mean,
was at that game.
You never want really.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stop it. Did you swing on our test?
7th grade. Oh, yeah. I was that fan in the stands throwing the beer
just
first.
see Broder swinging. Oh, my God.
Long, lanky arms.
That was high velocity, bro.
Yeah. I was throwing a baseball from the upper section. Yeah.
You was at the 300s, huh?
Like, oh, yeah. Those leagues. Getting the call like Mike, like Calvin Cambridge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But, yeah, it's just like you don't want to see that because we don't want that kind of stain on this organization. Right. We've already carried that kind of a stain for a while. So I don't know, but I would like to keep Beef Stew as a backup option. Like you said, he was kind of playing out over his position. Essentially, he's an okay shooter, but that's not really a strong suit. He brings something defensively, but he's undersized. So I don't know, man. I think the Pistons maybe kind of had plans to maybe ship him out after this season anyway. So I don't know if this helps his case, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Just how to play it by ear.
Yeah, especially as more details come out. Another team on a West Coast trip, just to shout them out real quick. The Detroit Red Wings play tonight versus the Vancouver Canucks. It's a late game, 10 o'clock p.m. This is coming off a loss, an 8-4 loss to Edmonton the other night. They play tonight. Also, our Detroit Lions. Yesterday, David Montgomery, the NFL released a top 100 runs from running backs on the season. Guess who was number one? David Montgomery. His 75-yard run in the Chargers game, the LA Chargers, I believe
I remember that
week
one.
9, 10, 11.
That was the J-Mo cleanup block, wasn't it?
Yes. And we're going to be talking about J-Mo a little bit more today, but that was the one. David Montgomery. It was Jared Goff changed the play at the line of scrimmage. There was some confusion with the play call that went in. They adjusted to a run. Yeah. David Montgomery, apparently our hard-nosed short yardage back, he takes off for 75 yards. Led the way by Jameson Williams, who had a massive block at the end of that run for David Montgomery to sneak in. 75-yard run, number one run of the NFL season. How cool is that?
It was cool. You know what I remember about that was the they were mic'd up. And Jahmyr Gibbs had just had a big run and a touchdown. And he came back to the bench, to the sideline. It was like, you know what? You having all the fun. You can't be the only one having fun. And then to go out there and kind of have that play just pop off. It was so dope because generally we're thinking about David Montgomery as that short yardage back, that goal line back that, hey, give him the ball, he'll at least get you 4 to 5 yards. But what we saw him do behind this offensive line today, he made some runs and some plays this year that I didn't even know if he was going to be capable of doing at this stage in his career with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And that play, hey, you know what? Kudos to David Montgomery.
Right.
He talked about how so much of his just thoughts before he got here, when he was a Chicago Bear, when he signed here, he said so much of that has just been kind of turned around. He's happy to be here. He says one of the best places. I think he said, I don't want to misquote him, I thought he said it's been his best kind of place to play, his best football experience. Yeah. And I'm happy for him, man.
If I was a running back, running behind this offensive line would be my best football experience.
I could get a touchdown behind this line, man.
Right?
I'm telling you. But yeah, like he's always had this ability in him, even watching him from afar in Chicago. The problem was they never had a real offensive line to complement what he brings to the table, man. That's why you saw a whole bunch of 700 to 800 yard seasons from him. But here he comes here, gets his first 1,000-yard season. I believe that was his first.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And
10 touchdowns.
Just amazing, man. And I'm glad he wants to be here. A lot of the narrative has changed, man. But that just goes to show you how much this organization has changed over these years, man. Like this is real legit change, man. People want to be here.
Yeah, I love that you said he's had that ability, just not the offensive line. And sort of to break that down just a little bit further, like he's got talent, he's got athleticism, but now with this Detroit Lions offensive line, he's getting 2, 3, 4 yards of acceleration before he hits contact. He's always been one of the top yards after contact runners in the league. Now he gets speed and power to start his run. You should look back on that 75-yard run. He starts, it's 5, 6, 7 yards right down the middle, going full speed, and then he cuts it outside. That's something that you just didn't get in Chicago. He was getting met in the backfield, just not able to really get going. Man, the fact that he can do that here, if I was a I know running backs are getting their market is changing in front of our eyes. How teams are looking at running backs, utilizing them, paying them.
Are you saying they're coming back? Is the running back position making its way back?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go that far yet, but if running backs want to find if a free agent running back is looking for a spot, even to take a little less money, you got to come to Detroit.
That's what I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying?
Ask that question. Who knows if that position is coming back, but we exactly know how the Detroit Lions are going to run it.
Yeah,
you see how I did that?
I see how you did that, like Chris Brown.
Hey, Broder,
see how I did that?
Broder in tune with the culture, man.
Yeah, excuse
Shout
me,
out
man.
to Deja, man, in the chats. He said that's the only Monty we love in Detroit.
Oh,
Hey.
Y'all got to chill on Monty Williams, man. At least give him till next year. I mean, he kind of walked into a shitstorm, for lack of better words.
That's what I told people too on the Woodward Pistons channel is that look, Monty Williams' track record as a head coach is one of the tops in his league.
Yeah,
he came to an organization that was already in flux, what some people believe was already ran kind of poorly, and that has not really complimented his young players with any vets. And he's a coach that generally coaches teams with vets on it, though he can help to develop maybe a younger player or two.
My only knock against him is Killian Hayes. I don't get what the Killian Hayes obsession was, but that's my only thing I had to say about Monty as a Pistons coach.
Who did that?
Whoa. KG, you got
right. I'm like, do I got the touch like that?
Wait,
I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Here, wave your hand, brother. Let's see if it comes back to you.
Come on back around. Hello.
We off the rails today, man. Let me see.
Is this like an automatic following the movement?
Yeah, I think he's gonna follow KG.
Oh, that's sick.
It likes KG.
That's sick.
That's dope. I didn't know they did that.
Oh man,
this damn technology getting crazy, y'all.
You move a little bit more.
Can we go back to the left, man? To the right.
To the left. Oh, it's that one.
Yeah. Nope, it just likes KG. It likes KG.
This is crazy.
Should I go get a chair to just sit over there?
Sure.
Oh, wait, we have a microphone. Is there a way to turn off like the auto?
Yeah, that's
auto. Hey, Flannel.
Try to switch real quick. See if you sit in the middle, what happens.
Yeah, maybe it's.
Hold on. All right, go back over there.
Oh, no, I like you.
Yeah, go back over there.
This is behind the scenes footage at Woodward Sports Network. Thursday, February 15th. The Wake Up Woodward crew is in Studio B trying to figure out the camera situation.
We know the camera likes black people. We know that. So, I don't know, man.
Guess who's coming? We didn't even ask, and he
heard.
Oh,
yes, JB to the rescue.
JB, can you help us, bro? Help us.
The camera's attracted to me.
It's following.
I didn't know there was.
Brother. Wave your hands when he holds it like that.
Hello.
Is there any way you can turn that off?
Is anybody alive out there?
What the fuck?
We're not turning the tripod.
I'm ugly as hell, man.
It'll still fall.
Oh, wow.
There's got to be a way to turn off the stable. Like it's stable or what do they call it? Tracking? It's tracking KG's face or movements or something.
I don't know if I like this.
Shift, man.
This technology getting out of control, y'all. This shit is. That's crazy.
You know what? Let's get some. Wait, where's the tape at?
Right.
Hold
it. We're down.
Where's that tape? Is it over there?
Is it?
Oh, it's right there.
We don't have a backup mic or anything?
No. Well, yeah. Can you grab that?
Oh, I can since I'm off screen.
Yeah.
This is going in the blooper reel, y'all.
I love this right now. Hey, shout out to JB Smooth, the GOAT, man.
Oh,
you guys don't even understand. Sometimes technology be on the fritz. And like we said, to kind of start the stream, this was a situation where we were like, you know what? Do we want to continue on? Do we want to just call it a day? We were going through all of our options, and we like our Wake Up Woodward crew, man. Definitely, if you guys can, hit that like button as always. We're going to definitely get some we're going to get in some of these questions as well. So if there's any mailbag stuff, we're going to just take that type of stuff throughout the show.
Tape rips off. Hey, the force is strong with
I swear, man.
with this camera.
I don't know what it is.
The force is strong with this.
40 Gumbel says it doesn't recognize me as human anymore. We are not the same. I am a Martian.
Right.
I'm also
maybe I'm an AI. I might be an AI.
Machine.
That's what it is.
Like
You're
Dominic Hasek.
It
It might be.
Hey, JB, you got to put your face back in the screen again. He's our GOAT, man.
Right. Shout out.
If JB's not
trying
here,
to follow you.
Right.
Follow JB.
It likes black people, bro. I'm telling you.
What's that one movie in the woods where they all
The Blackening.
yeah, no.
No.
There is a movie called The Blackening.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That is
like a
JB
spoof.
Smooth talking.
It's a spoof off of like all the horror movies.
Got you.
But it's like the all black cast.
Yeah.
Blair
Who gonna
Witch.
die first?
All right. We're
Yeah,
good for
what is
now.
it, the Blair Witch Project.
We still got 187 people in here supporting us.
Hey,
This is
shout out
epic.
to y'all.
Shout out
man.
to you guys. man.
Epic.
Yeah,
Shout
Tammy,
out.
she said this is the backup stage where heavyweights used to use. Yeah, heavyweights, they're here. Woodward Pistons. Before we move to the morning show and everything. And I appreciate the Wake Up Woodward crew for allowing me to be able to continue that. Rod Beard, the only time he actually can do the pod is between 8:40 and 9:20. And I used to record it and put it on at 1. And so yeah, this has been kind of a home for the heavies, for Woodward Pistons, and for a couple other podcasts as well. I know JB used to do some content back here too, and we're gonna force JB to do some content, man.
Yeah, man.
He's one of the best at this, and you guys will see.
Saturday Night Vibes loading.
Saturday Night Vibes, that's right. It's a vibe, but yeah,
Monty Williams and Juwan Howard have the same amount of wins this season.
Huh?
Ooh.
Oh,
Don't, where's Sam Flannel when you need him, man?
I know, right?
He is beating that drum hard. man.
But there is something special going on that involves Michigan basketball.
what up, though?
It just happens to be the women's game. The women's Michigan basketball team's going to play Iowa tonight.
Shout out.
That means they're playing Caitlin Clark, who's 8 points shy of breaking the all-time NCAA scoring record.
Nice.
She needs 8 points to pass Kelsey Plum, who has 3,527. Clark's averaging 32 points per game this season.
Jesus.
But how about this? A quick note before we move on. Average ticket resale price for this game, as of yesterday, $394. Original face value of those tickets, $15.
She bringing them out.
Right?
Wow.
bringing them
Before
out.
this season,
She's the white Steph Curry, man.
she's incredible.
Wow.
She is incredible.
She's
Before
just
this
a hooper,
season,
man.
she's a hooper. The highest resale ticket price for a women's basketball game was $150 for the 2022 WNBA All-Star game.
Wow.
Nothing but props, man.
Nothing. Iowa women's basketball has exceeded that price 6 times already. She's
Wow.
leading the nation in points and assists. The only other Division I basketball player to do that was Trae Young.
Yo, how does Michigan men's basketball team get one?
Caitlin Clark, bring her home.
Seriously.
You know
Bring
what?
her home.
Draft her to the Pistons.
Michigan State, we got to talk about Michigan State. I know all of us are traditionally Michigan men, but we have a job to do.
Yeah.
We're dedicated to make sure we cover our Detroit sports teams as well as our college teams. Michigan State won 80-72.
Hey,
They
Malik
continue to
Hall.
be one of those teams that, whether they're ranked or not, that's just a squad that, come by the time you get to March Madness,
Mhm.
Tom
They gonna weasel
Izzo-
their way in.
Yeah, Tom Izzo is going to have the formula. And you know what? Michigan State, kudos to you guys.
Right. Begrudgingly, but
Begrudgingly.
It's almost Tom Izzo month coming up. We got about 15. Actually, it's leap year, so 16
He has a
days.
month?
Yeah, March.
I didn't know that. Oh, well.
March Madness. But this
Yeah.
is where it's where Michigan State basketball starts to hit their stride.
Yeah.
Shout out to Malik Hall, 29 points on the night,
Huge
10
game.
to 13 field goals, 8 to 8 from the free throw line. They won 80-72. And I like their team, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I do. I can't even hate me. Just as a basketball fan, I guiltily watch it and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Michigan basketball, please get back, please, so I don't have to watch
It's gonna
Michigan
be a
State
while,
basketball
man.
for some good college hoops in state. But definitely, man, shout out to them. Red Wings, they take on
We said take on the Canucks tonight. We already ran through that.
yeah.
Red Wings, we covered Pistons just around the horn. We might be talking more about this beef stew incident as we go on, but we hit Red Wings, Michigan basketball, Pistons, Lions a little bit. Lance Newmark, their former senior director of personnel, has now taken a job as the assistant GM with the Commanders.
Nice.
I know a lot of people were giving him slack. He's been with the Lions for 26 years. So people were saying, man, more ties to the losing teams. Like, this guy's nothing. He's
Mhm.
actually really, really, really well respected around the NFL and in that building. And I know I'm not going to argue the last 26 years haven't been all that great. But this guy working under the general manager as the senior director of personnel, he had his hands in the IT department, the football technology department.
Yeah.
He's the one who has all the relationships running their scouting team all around the country to different coaches, different programs,
Mhm.
building the relationship, the scouting relationship between the Lions and these programs. What he doesn't have his hands in is the actual development of these players. So as much as he wants a player or gets a guy to draft, it still comes down to the coaching staff and the entire organization to make it all work. And obviously it didn't. It's not all Lance Newmark's fault. There's a reason that they wanted him in Washington. We'll see actually though what he and Martin Mayhew can do together.
Oh,
I know
wow.
Martin Mayhew's moving to a different role, but that's not exactly a connection that had
What
a
a
lot of
name.
success here. So I get both sides of it. I'm not trying to defend it or whatnot, but he is a very well-respected
After 20,
leader.
after 26 years, you got the right to do whatever the hell you want to, man. Like,
Right.
he gave his time. Like, I don't see why people are upset about that.
Right. Just wish him well.
Yeah.
Moving on. We're good. Lance Newmark have enjoyed Washington. They're turning themselves into a team. I know we're not going to be talking about the Commanders too much, but I don't know. They're changing their whole entire aura after Daniel Snyder.
Another
Yeah.
5 to
owner
10.
left.
Watch out for the Commanders, man.
Yeah, right.
I mean, look, that's an area that I actually lived in for 5-6 years, college, my first
Washington.
professional job and all that. Yeah, in the DC area. Shout out to the DMV. And I'm telling you, they love their Washington Commanders. Obviously, they had I'm about to say the old name. But and I got a chance to kind of work with one of their kind of super fans. He's a comedian named Chris Paul, the Hunky Lowdown that used to be on the Tom Jones Morning Show.
Oh, okay.
And it was cool, man. One of the coolest stories that I have from that time is the Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders. They were going to play. And this was some time ago, maybe like 07, 08. And they always made songs. Like you can still find his mixtapes online. And I made a bet because I was a studio engineer. I was like, look, man, if the Lions beat your Washington Commanders, you got to put me on the next song. And sure enough, man, my Lions came through.
Shout out.
It was like one
Shout
of our
out.
like 3 or 4 wins on the season. But you know what? It was cool to have all my friends and family like, yo, we heard you on the Tom Jones Morning Show. I'm like, let's go,
that's dope.
Lions. Let's go, Lions. I love you guys, especially now.
Yeah.
Especially now. But no, DC, they love their team, man, at DMV.
DC,
Win,
word.
lose, draw.
That's a real
Good fans,
thing,
man. They deserved better. So it's about time that they got that.
Without a doubt. We were going to talk about the teasing the City Connect uniforms for the Tigers. I don't know if we're set up. We kind of got to put some graphics behind it. There have been some accounts like Deep to Center posted his mock-ups of what the Tigers City Connects uniforms should be. I'm thinking we should probably wait to do that till tomorrow.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about this Jared Goff list, or is that also something you guys think we should hold off until tomorrow? Just from a visual perspective, you want to see this dude was ranked number 14th, the number 14th ranked QB.
He's blasphemous.
I've been waiting to talk about this all week.
Man, I mean, we can get a little bit into it. I don't know if you want to like name all the people in front of him, but
I can do that.
yeah.
I can do
had
that.
The list pulled up here too.
Oh yeah, let it fly.
The QB 2024 offseason QB power rankings.
Keyword
ranked-
off season.
Yeah.
2024 off season.
Ranked by Derek Klassen of the 33rd team. Number 1,
Number 1.
Patty Mahomes.
Undisputed.
Yep.
Number 2, Lamar Jackson.
Got it. With
Josh,
you. I said with you.
Yep, Josh Allen. Number 3, Justin Herbert. Number 4. Number 5, Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Okay. Number 6, Jared Goff.
Number 6, Dak Prescott. Number 7.
Keep going.
Number
We've got a
7,
long way to go.
CJ
Dakota.
Stroud. Number 8, Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-mm.
Number 9, Joe Burrow.
Come on.
Number 10. All right.
You're right.
All right. All right. Okay, now I'm with y'all. Number 10.
This shit is crazy.
Don't say it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not Valentine's Day anymore.
Jordan Love.
Right.
Number 11.
Cool. What, 3 games played? 3 games?
Bro, finish this. I can't do this. Here you go, bro.
I got you,
I'm
man.
done.
All right, so
This
you
list is
You're at
stupid.
11.
all right, so 11, Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals. At number 12, we have Geno Smith of the Seahawks.
What?
At number 13, we have Kirk do-gooder Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. And at number 14, your Detroit Lions,
Wait.
Jared Goff.
Wait, third in the NFC North?
Yes.
How?
You caught that.
How?
It's ridiculous,
Oh,
man.
read off up to about 20.
All
Just name them because we'll reference some of those guys at 17, 18, 19.
All right,
pretty-
so
Oh, the
15,
constant
Aaron
disrespect.
Rodgers. 16 is Anthony Richardson. 17, Jalen Hurts. 18, Brock Purdy. 19, Tua Tagovailoa.
bro.
And at number 20, Baker Mayfield.
Bro.
So, yeah, man.
So back to the NFC. Let's start there. He's behind both Jordan Love and Kirk Cousins. in terms of NFC quarterback rankings,
Yeah.
according to Derek Klassen.
I'm surprised they ain't have Justin Fields above him.
Yeah, right.
Like seriously, you might as well just throw him above him too.
Pete Prisco would probably put him up there.
So they're saying that he's the worst or third best quarterback in the NFC North is what they're trying to say.
Just ahead of the guy who apparently Chicago's going to trade and they don't believe in anymore. Jared Goff, 14, Jordan Love number 10. Don't get me wrong. I think Jordan Love has potential to be a great quarterback.
Yes.
He showed me something at the end of that season that Lions fans should maybe be concerned that they found another guy. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. But to put him ahead of Jared Goff at this point in his career, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like it's just sad. Jared Goff.
All I can do is shake my head, bro. I'm just sitting here like my brain got so many things I don't want to say.
Yeah.
And every time I go to try and talk it, I'm just like, you know what, man? This is crazy.
This is a off-season list, man. And I know a lot of people, because we talked about it yesterday on Big D Energy, a lot of people in the chat was bringing up, physical attributes and things of that nature. But we're not going off that. If this is based off of last year and going into this new season, how do you not have Jared Goff in the top 10? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then you have quarterbacks above him that didn't even make the playoffs. So I just think that's absolutely egregious. But
right, and KG Ryan's reaction says y'all got to realize Goff is getting ranked lower because he benefits from his team instead of his team benefiting from Goff.
You can say that about a lot of quarterbacks, though, especially ones that they put above him.
I have a problem with Brock Purdy at 19.
You don't think
he was just in the Super Bowl?
You don't think Geno Smith is a product of his team,
right? Like, you don't think I'm going to pull this list up. This is why we probably need it behind us. Let's revisit this tomorrow.
You think the Seahawks winning games because of Geno Smith?
No. And you could argue, yes, Jared Goff has dudes around him and a great offensive line. You still got to deliver the ball and do the job and lead your team to 12 wins. Lead your team to the NFC Championship.
And when we look at these playoffs, right? Clean football from Jared Goff.
Yes.
This was something that a lot of people had some concerns with leading into those playoffs. And we all stated, if Jared Goff doesn't turn the ball over, if Jared Goff plays clean, if Jared Goff can deliver the ball well, we were talking about all the things he had to do because we knew what everybody else on the team was supposed to do.
Right.
And there were some injuries to that offensive line. They were a little bit banged up. There were games where the running game wasn't there, and he still had to be that guy. There were whole series and drives where we knew, all right, Jared Goff is going to have to turn it up, and he did in some crucial moments.
Yeah,
some crucial moments, putting the passes on the money. Jared Goff, to me, showed a lot more in the playoffs even than he did during the regular season. I thought that he showed improvement as that kind of playoffs, as the regular season went into the playoffs, the game against the Rams, the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even the game against, at least the first half, against the 49ers.
Yeah.
I thought he was clean, man.
And we talk about the number one run of the NFL season. That was a decision by Jared Goff to audible to a run that led to that. Like, Jared Goff's not getting any stats or credit. And it's a David Montgomery gets all the credit for it, but you still need the quarterback to be able to make that decision in how to audible. And Eduardo O'Neal, you bring up a good point, my friend. Love is more insulated than Goff. When they weren't holding his hand, he was shit. When he was the best, Aaron Jones was running his face off.
Yeah.
That's when Jordan Love, and I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He is, and he's going to be.
We still need to see another year of Jordan Love.
Right?
This is his first year as a full-time starter. So that's just me. That's just my personal opinion. But
Jared Goff, 29 years old, 5 playoff wins. Kirk Cousins, 35 years old, 1 playoff win. Jordan Love, 25 years old, 1 playoff win. Justin Fields, 24 years old, 0 playoff wins.
And shout out to Ryan's reaction for the super chat.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We definitely appreciate you on that, man. And obviously, we appreciate you even when you don't contribute, because you do contribute. You're one of those guys that we see in the chats all the time. As a lot of you guys here, man. We got 200 here in the chat right now. Please hit that like button, because that's the type of support, man. You guys being here, you guys contributing to the conversation,
right?
You guys liking the stream, things like that. I appreciate it, as I know the crew does as well, man.
Love y'all, man.
Definitely. I mean, that's why we're doing this right now.
Even when we don't agree, but Jared Goff got to be in your top 10. I can't respect this list at all. Like, seriously.
On no level.
Kyler Murray was the biggest one to me. I'm like, how did you put Kyler Murray? He didn't even play the whole season.
Bro, Geno Smith.
It's ridiculous, man.
I'm putting him over Cousins, Geno, Kyler, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence,
Dak
Prescott, I'm okay.
Even CJ Stroud. I mean, CJ Stroud is really good, guys. We get it. Like, he looks really good. This is his first year as a starter. We need to see more. Jared Goff has been to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl.
Yes.
There's QBs above him that haven't even sniffed that. Like, I just don't understand. Like, where are you getting this from? This is a 2024 offseason list. It's not a physical attributes list.
Yeah.
It's
It's
I'm
trash, man.
putting Tua, Purdy, and Hurts up over all those people I named too.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. And Joe Burrow, I don't know how to judge Joe Burrow. Like, what?
Joe Burrow's
if
top
healthy,
10. He's
he
top
could be,
10.
If healthy, he could be number 2.
Yeah.
If not number 3. But so why is he at 9 and not like what puts him at 9?
Maybe they're holding the injuries against him, but
yeah, it's just reoccurring though. This is what we see happen to Jared Goff all the time since he got to Detroit. And I was looking at when the Lions and the Rams were going to play, I went back for socials, looked up the breaking news report and how they were absolutely dismissing, and not just dismissing, but disrespecting Jared Goff and the type of success they thought he wasn't going to have here in Detroit, man. They didn't think anything of it. They thought he was just a throw-in. Yeah, he's just kind of getting banished. The Detroit Lions don't really care for him or want him. They're going to be looking for their QB of the future. And all you've seen Jared Goff do is improve year after year after year. He's led this team to more wins year after year after year. He's made the throws that people said they don't think he can make. Bro, and I was one of those guys that questioned and wondered too when he first got here, how's his arm? Can he throw the deep ball? People, and you hear all of the national pundits talk about he's not that good when you're talking about passes in the air over 10 yards. He's not that good when you're talking about trying to get the ball downfield.
But he led the league in passes of 20 yards.
Hold on, wait. Say that again.
He led the league this past season in passes of 20 yards or more. For all that Jared Goff can't throw the deep ball argument crowd.
That's what I'm saying. Continue. How often, how much more does Jared Goff have to prove himself before these people actually wake up? The stats are right there for you. Wake up, Woodward. You see what we did there?
Yeah, hey.
The stats are right there for you. The performance is right there for you. Jared Goff was a big part of why this team got to where they got to this year. And you want to talk about power rankings. When you talk about the consistency, and we've talked about how important this is for the Lions. We see the 49ers, consistency is not necessarily a thing that they're going to move forward with. They went and they're changing out the defensive coordinator. And there's probably going to be some other changes. We know that there's some players that they may lose that were important for them this year. The Lions are bringing back this kind of consistent cast. You talk about the familiarity. If you're talking about a power ranking of where these guys are going to be headed as we get throughout the offseason, well, Jared Goff is the guy who's going to get more weapons. If you say he's a guy that's kind of supported by what's around him, he's that guy that's going to get more offensive line help. If you're talking about that, he's the guy that's going to have a Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield a year or two, a guy who already was a great back, already is a rookie. You're talking about a guy who now he's proven that he can actually carry the quarterback load, but now you're giving him more. If there's a person that, in terms of like a quarterback on this list that I got to put stock in to be top 10, Jared Goff is definitely one of those guys. Right. I'm not betting against him. How many times does he have to continue to prove people wrong?
We got to get over this mindset that he needs all this stuff around him in order to be successful. A lot of quarterbacks need that. There's only 2 or 3 quarterbacks on this list that do not need that. And one of them you just saw win the Super Bowl.
When the Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs, what were some of the things that we continued to hear why the Chiefs lost that game? There was some
missing Travis Kelce.
Chris
Jones too.
Okay.
Asterisks, they say.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I just think people need to factor in everything that goes into being a quarterback. And we talk about players and the team around him. What about the coaching staff?
Right.
His whole career leading up to Detroit, he had a different OC and a different QB coach every single year. That's a different offense, a different playbook, different terminology, different everything. And he still made it to the Super Bowl. He still made it to the playoffs. He then comes to Detroit. He's now had the same QB and offensive coordinator for 2 straight years. He's getting better too.
Right.
I'm not making the case that he's a top 5, 6, or maybe even 7 quarterback in terms of this list. And if we're talking just like athleticism and talent, he's probably not. He's probably not top 20. But we're talking perfect. Being a quarterback, he's top 10.
Yeah,
I'm okay if you have him 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah,
but he's not 14 behind Jordan Love and
he's
Geno.
Not 3rd in the NFC North at all under any circumstance. And you know what? Another thing that should factor into any power ranking. Because when you're talking about a power ranking, you're talking about what you also believe this person will be as time goes on. Jared Goff, knock on wood, Jared Goff, as it relates to being playing clean games, he's been one of those guys. But does he ever get injured?
Not really.
Cousins, you can almost count on it every season going in. Like, well, what week will it be when Kirk Cousins goes down? Like, Jared Goff is a guy that has been, if you want to talk about dependable, somebody that you can just pencil in and say, you know what? I know exactly what I'm going to get from Jared Goff. I know it's going to be enough for us to at least get to a Super Bowl. He's now taken 2 different teams, and he's one of just a handful of quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to do this. 2 different teams to the NFC Championship game. Right. He's played in a Super Bowl. It's time to stop disrespecting this player.
And listen, guys, if your organization is smart, of course they're going to surround your quarterback with pieces. I mean, that's how it goes.
Why would they do that, KG?
It's like, like, come on, man. Of course you want to insulate your quarterback, no matter how good they are. You put a Travis Kelce with a Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't need a Travis Kelce to be successful, but you still want to give him that. I mean, it's just we got to get over these personal biases.
He needs a Travis Kelce to beat the Lions, though.
Yeah, apparently. But we got to get over this personal bias of what you may have seen from Jared Goff or what you think of Jared Goff.
Right. Big game, big quarterbacks. You look at his record up against some of the best in this league, and he's winning those matchups, man.
Yeah.
That's Jared Goff.
Mahomes 0-2 against him.
He's never lost.
Well,
never lost.
Well, you know what? That actually got me. I think I'm awake now.
Yeah.
I think I'm awake now, man.
Bro. This is normally the part where we go to break.
It is.
Yeah.
Brought to you by. No, this is our show. We're just running right through today.
Right.
We're not taking any breaks.
Shout
out
Les Stanford.
We do have some amazing sponsors, and we are so thankful for them.
Shout out.
Today in Studio B, we're just getting straight talk. You're getting straight wake up Woodward talk. What direction you guys want to go with this? We want to stay on the Lions. We talked breakout. There's a speedy wide receiver we were going to talk about. Still? Maybe not today.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Or we'll get Doc on with all the software stuff. Let's just keep talking.
Right.
I don't want to screw anything up. We will have Doc on. If not tomorrow, definitely.
Hey, Grumman says stay out. You know what? Hey, shout out to Guardian Alarm. That's 1-800 stay out. Once again, that's 1-800 stay out. Dope, man. You know what? I love our chat, dog.
Yeah, they're the best.
They said we need some reads. Maybe we should have got the live reads. Right. Just at least read those.
I figured they wouldn't want that, man. I know they get tired of the commercials.
Yeah,
man. We do too, but we love our sponsors. But you know,
I think
it's part of the game. We got to pay the bills.
Yeah, and they don't. I think normally they don't want us to do them when we're kind of off script like this because sponsors they invest their money for a certain look and a certain feel, and if we say one when there's more people, like there's a whole timing aspect to it. So what if we missed one of the sponsors and read off all the other ones, or just a little disorganized?
Yeah,
right.
I will respond to this.
Let it fly.
Brian Ruth, I know he got the laughing emoji, but he said Hooker trying to play spoiler on Goff's career. Kids getting it in with 2 gloves. Listen, you know what I am excited about with Hendon Hooker?
Yeah,
is that this is going to be the season. You know, again,
we're going to see him.
That we get to see him.
Yeah.
Preseason is going to be anticipated now.
Yeah,
it really is. I don't really want to see Goff play too much in the preseason. Keep him healthy. Keep them clean. A lot of that chemistry stuff, I want to see them be able to get in their timing down during the offseason. And I know that you're going to keep us well updated on that.
Hell yeah.
I like the stuff that we talked about, like J-Mo. Lock J-Mo up, and we're going to talk about him. Lock him up with, not with Beef Stew, but with Jared Goff out in California.
Yeah.
That's what I want them to do. Get out there, get that chemistry in, and put in that work together. But I can't wait, honestly, for the preseason. The only thing I'm looking forward to are just what players on the cusp. If we have a couple kickers that are in a competition, and Hendon Hooker, man, that is it.
Yeah,
that is it.
We should host a kicking competition.
We should.
Do we want to let them know some of the stuff that we have on the horizon?
Might as well. I mean, nothing's set now. We have so many ideas. Actually, let's hold it back because I don't want to give away ideas.
So we'll say
we still got to execute, just like the Lions on 4th down against the 49ers.
We got some cool things on the way, though.
Hooker, he's not someone that we can be excited about Hooker. Like there's only if we see Hooker play, that's a good. I'm trying. So the Keys to Wisdom had a comment in here. Hooker is like auto insurance. You buy it, but hope to never use it.
Yeah,
that is true. But there's also the reverse. I think I'm confident in Goff just being consistent. I think he's going to get better. But hypothetically, let's say he just plateaus and he's still just the great quarterback he is. If we see Hendon Hooker more, if he outplays Goff and wins that competition, that's a great thing. You're getting in for 3 years on a rookie contract. That's that would be incredible. And you could argue that may be best case scenario for the Detroit Lions organization moving forward into whatever the next step of this organization is. But he's got to beat out Jared Goff. He's a great locker room guy. He's one who's going to push that team and do something different.
Yep.
We are going to see him, though, in the preseason, because if he's not able to beat out Goff, or if they move on from viewing him as maybe the next franchise quarterback and extend Goff, they want to show him off to other teams. They want to put tape on where he's playing well and they can get some trade value. This is what not to channel the Matt Patricia era, but the Patriots back in the day, they kept drafting quarterbacks behind Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right. To his displeasure. He did not care for that too much.
Right. But they do these, they draft them as a possible replacement. Brady got hurt or in the preseason. Whenever they got time, those quarterbacks did some good things and earned some big dollar bills with another team.
Yeah, even though they didn't really play except for maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. I know Matt Castle had a few games here and there with other teams, but he's such an intriguing player because we don't know what the organization's like plans for him are.
Right.
Like, is he the QB of the future? Because when you look at this guy, he, aside from injury, he was damn near a Heisman candidate.
Definitely.
Like, he's a high level quarterback, and to get him in the third round, I think was an absolute steal. But we don't know. We don't know whether they want to just save him for backup purposes, whether they might end up using him as trade bait, or whether he is the future of this team if they don't want to all out pay Jared Goff. So it's going to be interesting, man. I always said that, if Goff gets off to a rough start in this 2024 season, we know how Detroit fans are.
The backup quarterback.
They're going to start screaming his name, man, and it's going to make things more interesting. But it's good that we actually have a what I feel to be a higher level backup talent to back up Jared Goff in case something happens to him, because he's not. He's been injured before. He doesn't get injured often, but it's nice to have that backup option. But yeah, I'm just really intrigued to see going forward what's the plan for Hendon Hooker, man, because he's very talented, and I'm intrigued, man. I want to see what he does in preseason.
Yeah, his talent is through the roof. And Matthew Kruger brings up a good point. Says, "Hey, Broder, remember Hendon Hooker is Brad's draft pick at QB, and he does have a connection with Hendon Hooker that dates even before him becoming an NFL prospect." So to think Hendon Hooker's been a tricky thought for me because due to his injury, I would have thought he'd best fit, or you're getting the best value out of him if a team, hypothetically the Lions, would have taken him at the end of the first round, to get that fifth year on. Now that he's on a 4-year, I'm glad the value of getting the player in the third round, or what he could be, is huge. But now you have only 3 years left on him. He hasn't played at all. You might see Jared Goff for 1 or 2 more years. We'll see what the extension looks like. So then at that point, it's time to pay Hooker if he's still your guy. There's just a lot of things, a lot of financial things that Mike Disner and Brad Holmes need to figure out. Yeah, it's running the NFL teams hard, like making these decisions, having a vision, planning for the future, especially when we're talking about a quarterback. Man, they have some big time decisions coming up.
Yeah, big time decisions. But you know what? This is a front office that we know we can all trust.
Yes.
Even the selection of Hendon Hooker and the potential that we all know that he carries, the knowing they didn't just trade for Jared Goff just to kind of, let's just kind of get a feeling. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have been on record stating that we know he can make any throw that we'd ask him to. We believe he's a winner. When at his press conference, Dan Campbell talked about it. He said, no, he will contribute to winning here. He will be the leader of us, especially when we get to winning. These are some of the things. I remember going back and listening to that press conference, and I just wanted to get a feel for where the Lions were with Jared Goff.
Right.
What the talk was around it, because you can see some of these press conferences, and it's just, Jared Goff. Hey. Yeah. But this was one where Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, and I implore you guys to definitely go back and check out his initial press conference, because it's cool. And the Lions put out a pretty cool video too that kind of showed you what I believe to be the real. I think you can say a lot of trumped up stuff about a player or about an experience, but to see Jared Goff even, and hey, shout out to the great Christine Harper, to see them talking about Detroit, to kind of see their perspectives change on Detroit. As they had gotten to kind of know a little bit more about this city, about the people, about kind of who we are and how we work and how we grind and how we go, to kind of see them say, you know what, I'm happy to be here and I want to bring a winner to these people. That's what I think is so awesome about the interaction between the fans and just kind of seeing Jared Goff. And was that his dad who was driving when all of the people were in the street after the game against the Rams?
He's the king of Detroit.
He's the king of Detroit. Did you see their faces?
And that video was actually a couple weeks prior. It was repurposed, kind of Champagne Athletics repurposed it, and it looked like it was after the Rams game. But nonetheless, the point.
So people during the regular season were already like, Jared Goff's our guy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love the relationship between Jared Goff and this city right now.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
It's funny because when he came, you think, and I thought this too. He seemed like, a California guy. He had that Cali, attitude. He's just chill. He's just chill. But he seems like he fits more in Detroit than he does in California.
Ain't it crazy?
He's quiet. Yeah. He doesn't really need he doesn't want all the attention. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. Like he's
a little snarky now. I like it, man. He got a little edge to him.
That's why
he's wearing Carhartts. Like,
right?
You know once you put the Carhartt on, it's a different story, man. But
that's why I think that comment he made to Ryan Fitzpatrick after the Green Bay Packers game.
I know it was a poor man's anything.
Yeah, post game after a big win, but we saw that snarkiness, that spiciness out of Jared Goff. That showed me something. Just that one little comment.
But you know what it was? I think it's different when your organization and your team in the city believes in you.
That's true.
That's different. The Rams, I don't know how much they ever really believed in Jared Goff beyond that first kind of run. It was almost as if they knew after that first run, we're never going to win anything because of Jared Goff. It's like, wait, y'all just got to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We here in Detroit would have traded that success for what we've had over the years.
Right.
Now you're here in a place where people are saying, we wanted you here. You were not a throw-in.
Mm-hmm.
You're at a place now where the fans are saying, we are glad to have you here. Look, Detroit fans are always going to be, like Terry Foster says, have their eye on who's the backup quarterback. But to me, Jared Goff, along with Matthew Stafford, were two of those quarterbacks where people were not clamoring that you shouldn't be clamoring for the backup quarterback, man. And to have that belief, to know that you have a foundation here, to know that these people are going to work to put you in your best possible position, because for whatever they thought Jared Goff couldn't do out in LA, and I get it, maybe it just doesn't mesh with their coaching style. The Lions said, you know what? We know how to get the best out of Jared Goff, and we're going to make sure that we put that around him so that he can lead these guys, because it's not just what these offensive players do for Jared Goff, but it's also the type of leader that quarterback is for them as well. And Jared Goff is one of those guys. Like, I know we see all the pregame stuff, Penei Sewell going crazy, Aiden Hutchinson going crazy, getting people hyped up. But check out the ones when it's Jared Goff. That cool, calm kind of demeanor, that smooth operator,
never rattled.
You don't see that contrivity in his face. You don't see him trying to think of something. You don't see him trying to figure, how can I get the guys pumped up? It's almost as if his voice is something that they already resonate, so he can just be himself and be comfortable doing that. And that's what I've absolutely loved about Jared Goff, acclimating himself and kind of making himself a part of Detroit.
But the difference is we met Jared Goff where he's at. Like his situation with the Rams after the Super Bowl run, Sean McVay didn't feel like Jared Goff can do the things that he wanted him to do. So instead of trying to adjust the offense to his capabilities, he's just like, no, I just need to get another quarterback in here that knows how to follow what I want followed. When he comes here, Ben Johnson sits him down, looks at his college tape, looks at his pro tape, like, hey, I want to cater this offense to what you do well. And that is the difference there. He's given Jared Goff more responsibility, but he's handled it beautifully. And you can't state that enough, man. Like, when you have belief from not only the city, but your coaching staff and the people that put you in these positions, it means everything, man. And McVay kind of lost that faith, and he gave up on the kid, man. But you can't do that with somebody that literally, what it was, his second, third season, he got you to a Super Bowl. And we all know the stats in the Super Bowl. We all know what happened, but that's not a microcosm of what Jared Goff is as a whole. He's gotten better. Like, we used to see Jared Goff melt down after a few mistakes. He's gotten so much better at that. He's so much more resilient now. I'm telling you, he's changed his game a lot from LA to Detroit, man. And that's why I give him so much respect.
Hey, shout out to Denver Blair. He said Goff will talk the panties off a nun. He got a
oh, Jesus.
Yes.
KG Facts. That's from Brian Roof.
Appreciate it.
And I forgot who said it earlier, like why would we talk about this list? And it's realistically, it's our responsibility as people who cover Detroit sports, as people who represent Detroit fans on the greater level, because this content goes out there, it gets out there.
Yeah.
We're going to always make sure that the narrative surrounding the people we cover is as correct as possible.
Yeah.
Even if sometimes we disagree, we will definitely come to some type of counterpoint, some type of place of like, all right, this is the levity here.
Exactly.
And with Jared Goff, that was just a list from the 33rd team. This wasn't a list from like, Twitter user X5369, and we're just like, hey, why did you do that?
Right.
This is from somebody who's representing a pretty big outlet.
If I'm Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm sending a little from my work email, from the 33rd team work email.
Seriously.
Hey, Derek,
stop disrespecting my quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
I like that, man.
Outrageous. There's a guy though. I know a lot of people want to see him have a big time connection with next year.
Who is that, man?
My man's Waymo.
Waymo. This is
Williams.
a big off season. We're going to talk about J-Mo as another possible breakout player for the Detroit Lions, but really it's all about his connection with Goff. We've seen him get more involved in the offense. I have confidence that Ben Johnson is going to work him in more to that offense, more strategic route running, not just the same stuff we saw for the majority of the season, but it's that connection with Jared Goff that improved, just needs to continue to improve.
Yep. And I know that a lot of people, I've talked to people as well about Jameson Williams. We've all kind of done these shows and such. And a lot of people are definitely happy about the deep field, the downfield threat that he can pose, that he can bring and kind of make this Lions offense even a lot more vertical than it seemed underneath Jared Goff. Where I'm actually more excited, or just as excited, is what he can bring as slants, what he can do in the run game, in the reverse.
Get the ball in his hands.
Just get the ball in his hands, man. And I think that I'm not looking for him to go out there and be this 1,000-yard receiver next season, because I believe that when you have a Sam Laporta and you have an Amon-Ra St. Brown, those guys are going to eat. But if he can be that kind of complimentary guy, when Amon-Ra and Laporta are going to get all the attention, if he can be that sure-handed wide receiver, if he can kind of be that guy in space, as soon as you get it to him, he can make some of those moves that we saw against the Minnesota Vikings, because the Lions do. They have a bevy of plays where they do throw shorter sticks, and Amon-Ra St. Brown has been so good at still picking up first downs off of that type of stuff. If we know that every single player that's out there is going to be effective with good hands, and then you throw in the fact that he can absolutely run past an entire defensive backfield, and Jared Goff has shown he can get the ball downfield to Jameson Williams. Their timing and his ability to kind of locate the ball in the air. Obviously, these are things that we want to know that they're working on throughout the summer. But I believe he is primed to be a breakout candidate, especially if the same things that we saw Ben Johnson do for Jared Goff, to say, you know what? This is the type of player Jared Goff is. This is the type of offense we know that we can fit him into and work around him to his benefit. If the Lions are also, from a coaching standpoint, doing their job, which I have full faith, confidence, and trust in, Jameson Williams is a prime candidate to be the breakout player of the year for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. And listen, y'all, he's more than just a deep threat. You know how we always say Jahmyr Gibbs was drafted as a weapon? We need to start viewing Jameson Williams as a weapon. He can be used in multiple ways. You can line him up anywhere, in the backfield, in the slot, outside, and he can do a lot of things for you. Now, as the season went on, we saw more than just deep shots. We saw out routes. We saw slants. We saw things of that different nature, and that they need to stick to that. He needs to get more of those type of touches. My big thing was targets, and maybe that was a trust thing with Goff. Maybe that's because, he came in week 4 and what they had was already working, so they kind of had to string J-Mo along as the season went on. But it's incumbent upon this organization to feature him more in those kind of routes. There's no reason why J-Mo shouldn't be catching drags. He shouldn't be catching digs, things of that nature, because he's one of those players. His 10 yards can turn into 50 real quick, man. And that kind of speed is like, you can't state that, man. That's like Tyreek Hill levels of production.
Yes, it is.
And I think he has that, man. Not saying that he's as fast but he has that level of production in him. But they have to find ways to work him in this offense, because I always say, if they can figure out how to unlock J-Mo in this offense, it's going to go to a whole nother level, and we're already top 5. So just think about that.
Already.
Just think about that. Once we get that over the top threat and they start using him in more ways than just the deep route, oh my God,
You know
this
why,
offense is
though?
going to take off.
It will. And think about some of the games that we did win. In some of those games, especially early in the season, it was because of Jameson Williams getting downfield and catching those touchdowns. Imagine when you could put it all together.
Yeah.
Because when you see Jameson Williams, I think that in the future, teams are going to think, okay, scouting report, make sure you got somebody spying on him. When you can kind of push those safeties back just a little bit,
yes,
and you can be reliable, you can say, you know what, they don't know that it's about to be a slant route. Think about how much more space it creates for him to be that sure-handed, to be able to run those routes, to be confident target for Jared Goff across the middle of the field. And, I think that when you look at that San Francisco 49ers game, I believe that we lost the game there. You talk about the drops from Josh Reynolds. I don't expect that type of stuff from him on a consistent basis. But if we had basically elite players kind of in the middle of that field, Amon-Ra St. Brown even had a drop in that game.
Oh, he did a big one.
If all of our receivers are sure-handed in that type of position where the San Francisco 49ers started to bring the heat a little bit more in the second half of that game, it just bodes even more for the Detroit Lions moving ahead. But Jameson Williams, man, I think you over here preaching, man.
Yeah, seriously, man. We got to get over this. And I'm sick of hearing about the drops, guys. That was like a 3 to 4 week thing at the beginning of the season. He was getting acclimated, but just because he drops passes doesn't mean you stop passing to him.
Right.
You have to keep, if you drafted him at the 12th pick in the first round, you have to feed this guy. That's just my whole thing. What did you move up for if you weren't going to use him in that way? You know, like and I'm not saying take away from anybody else on this team, but the more J-Mo gets targeted and the more that defenses know, like, oh, his speed, we got to account for that. That's just going to open it up more for everybody else. And we already have a lethal threat in Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God, man. So that's only going to make things better for everybody else.
Like 3 levels of just pass catchers sometimes at one, just in at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know where you go. I don't know where you tell your linebackers to go. I don't know where you're telling your safeties to shade over to. Like, I just don't know. And you know what? And I think that the more comfortable Jared Goff gets with Jameson Williams, I do believe that it opens up a little bit more, just a little bit more downfield for guys like Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown too. If Jared Goff gets more comfortable kind of getting downfield, this entire offense, man, it's just going to unlock. And the underneath routes for guys like Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you're talking about these 3 levels. Then you got Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes.
Literally pick your poison.
Khalif Raymond wasn't healthy in the playoffs. Like, that's an incredible weapon.
That's a great point.
I got you.
Yeah.
But Huffard has said in the chat, J-Mo is faster than Goff is trained to throw. They had to spend a lot more time together for Goff to make using J-Mo's speed an automatic behavior. Spot on. That's why they need to spend all day long, every day this offseason. Working together, and word out of camp, or word out of the team, Khalif Raymond, and I believe this was either in a Dave Burkett article or Doc Maakaron on All Lions, Sports Illustrated's Lions publication. Khalif Raymond was talking about how much work he's already seen J-Mo put in. There was even a quote, and I have this from Tim Twentyman. Talks about, this is in the San Francisco 49ers game, the out route that Amon-Ra St. Brown caught, a big 3rd down conversion for us. J-Mo is on the outside running a clear route, and you have to take your man with you, or else St. Brown gets cleaned out and we don't convert. This is from veteran wide receiver Khalif Raymond, said of a key 3rd and 6th down conversion of St. Brown late in the first half along the right sideline. He came back to the sideline, and I was like, dude, it's a little thing, but like the way you ran that route, he had to respect you. And because he respected you, St. Brown got open. Something like that is huge. The 49ers. Something like that is huge, but also watching him blocking film, he fit into this group.
J-Mo don't get enough credit for that NFC Championship game.
That was his best game of the year, I think.
It was a culmination of what we had wanted all year, like seriously. And just think about if he caught that deep ball that they threw in the 3rd quarter. If he catches that, we might be looking at a whole different ball game. Lions might be in the Super Bowl, y'all.
Yep, and that's when we're talking about breakout. That's some of the stuff that I'm definitely hoping over the summer. He and Jared Goff, they get the timing down, they get the confidence down, they get the rhythm down. I'm looking forward to it, man. He's definitely a prime candidate to be the breakout player of the year for the Detroit Lions. And it's cool that we have a lot of these different players who did contribute this year. And we talked about it with Jack Campbell yesterday, who was the player that we profiled for a breakout candidate. These guys have so much more development ahead of them, but they've already contributed in big ways for the Detroit Lions. Already. It's like if these guys actually take the requisite steps forward, just marginal, just improve on a few things here, the Detroit Lions are that much better next season.
Yeah.
That much better next season. It's scary, man. It's scary. You're right. And that one play, it was over the shoulder. It looked like he didn't know which way it was going to drop over the shoulder.
And it was a tad overthrown. Just a tad.
He's got to work on his ball tracking.
Yeah, that is one thing he has to work on.
Yeah. You see him get turned around a couple times. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers touchdown he had.
Yeah, he turned around like twice looking for that ball.
And it was a great catch. It was an underthrown ball. He's got to be better at tracking the ball.
Yeah. I agree with that one. I agree.
Save JG
ball
from the interception.
Tracking, Dan Wood. Ball tracking.
Right now, though, so we've profiled two people, Jack Campbell, Jameson Williams. Who do you think is more likely to be the breakout player of the year?
That's a tricky question. That's a tricky question.
Can I say both? Because there's two sides of the ball.
True.
You know what? I want to hear it.
Yeah. No, seriously, J-Mo on the offensive end, I think Ben Johnson knows he has to incorporate J-Mo more. So I do expect to see a lot more J-Mo, barring, anything unforeseen. We should see a lot more J-Mo in 2024. But Jack Campbell, man, from the defensive position, he's absolutely going to need to step up because, like I said, he is your linebacker of the future. When Alex Anzalone moves on, Jack Campbell's going to be here. And he has to take steps forward. Now, I think he has one part of the game down already. His run skills or playing the run is already pretty damn good for a rookie second-year talent. He just got to get better at reading coverages, play recognition, and things of that nature. And he'll be a well-oiled machine, man. But he's already a great tackler as well. Yeah. I expect his tackle numbers to go up. So I don't see why it can't be both of those guys, really.
Yeah, it can be. And you know what? Where is it at? Hey, shout out to the Keys to Wisdom. He said Jack already broke out as the number 2 tackler on the team.
True. That's what I think his ceiling. Well, I got to make sure I phrase this right. Like, I want to see Jack Campbell, and I already know these statistics. I want to see he had 89 tackles last season. I want to see him at 110 plus. Like, that's an easy thing for me to try to predict or to need out of Jack Campbell next year. And that might even be undershooting it. But J-Mo's tricky because his breakout might look a little bit different. I don't think he's going to be, a 1,400-yard receiver, a 100 reception receiver, but it's how does he make 50, 60, 70 receptions? How does that impact winning? How do they use it? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, they're going to get their target share. I don't see Ben Johnson going away from feeding them the ball. I think we're going to see more Jahmyr Gibbs in the pass game. So there's only so much ball to be caught. So it's how they use J-Mo, how much impact he has on winning. I think can still be massive at 50, 60, 70 catches. I wouldn't want to predict. He's a tricky one to draft in fantasy. Like that.
Seriously.
You have no idea what you're going to get. But in terms of this team, he can impact winning so exponentially important.
Yeah, and that's where my next question was going to go. It's like, I think it's a little bit easier to kind of put out, hey, what's the season prediction? What represents a breakout for Jack Campbell, especially with the role he plays as a guy trending towards, like you said yesterday, being the man amongst the linebackers. But when you talk about this passing game and how diverse it is and how many people contribute, it's a little bit hard to track what Jameson Williams, what a breakout season will look like. But if it's not stats, and if you think you have some stats, definitely let me know what you think a breakout season looks like for Jameson Williams. But for me, if you're looking at 600 or 700 yards through the air, maybe a couple, it's 150 yards on the ground. Is that overzealous for Jameson Williams?
150 yards on the ground
through 18 games? I don't think so.
No, that's a great point. Yeah. Like, you get him on a reverse or
17.
I mean, he can turn a 20-yarder into 60. Like, I don't think 150 yards. I want to think about it more before I give you my number, but I don't think that's outrageous.
Well, listen,
not at all.
The bar is low. Let's just say that because, and it's not this is not a shot, but just going off his stats, man, he got 395 yards on 25 receptions. Wow. If he is your number 2 in theory receiver, this number should absolutely go up. If anything less than 700 yards to 800 yards is a disappointment, I would say. Would you agree? Is that too much without taking too much away from Laporta and the other weapons that we have?
That's too much, man. I think when you look at and you extrapolate that over what the games he was able to play, and as he got more kind of acclimated in this offense as the season went on, I think that's good. Do you have his rushing numbers too?
I can try and find them.
Oh, I got him somewhere. I got you.
Okay, all right.
I got you. We're talking JMO, right?
Yep.
He had in the regular season 3 rushes, 29 yards, and 1 touchdown. Postseason, 1 rush, 42 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, no, I don't think 150 is going to be too overzealous. If they scheme them up right,
exactly.
I definitely believe that is a 700 through the air, maybe 100 if we're being modest on the ground. A couple touchdowns as well, because he's that guy that you include him. You're at the 40-yard line on your 40, driving to score. You include him to try and pick up a big first down or to be able to get in the field goal range. But he's one of those guys that can turn that type of run, as we saw, into a touchdown.
Any play he has can be a touchdown. That's how lethal he is. Any single play can go to the house.
Any play, man. Any play. That honestly is another big reason why he's definitely a prime candidate to be a breakout player of the year.
Yeah.
With the targets going up.
Yeah.
I am just really, really curious to see, because I know a lot of times
42 targets in 2023.
42 targets.
Yeah.
How many targets do you want to see him get next season?
It definitely has to be more. I would say 70. It has to be up there in the 70 range.
Yep. If it is, I do believe we see him get to that 700.
Yeah. Let me look up Amon Ra's targets, because I just want like a comparison to somebody that gets the ball.
Amon Ra, Sam Laporta, he led. Did he lead in targets?
I think it would have been Amon Ra.
Yeah, it's probably Amon Ra.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from the tight end position, because Amon Ra was up there with the wide receivers. Sam Laporta, he was definitely up there with the tight ends, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, in terms of cross, yes, definitely.
Oh my God. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, 164 targets in 2023. J-Mo has 42, and I think the season before that he had like 5.
What about, can you look up Josh Reynolds?
Yeah.
Because I think that would be a good benchmark as well. If we're talking about J-Mo kind of going up a step, it's probably good. It's not going to take from Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they're going to target them regardless.
You have to. You got to let them eat. You got to let the big dogs eat.
You said who? Josh Reynolds?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you got to let the big dogs eat, and allow those guys to kind of continue to be what the defenses think about, because I think that also opens up what the effectiveness that Jameson Williams is able to bring as a kind of that surprise attack, man. You line them up out wide, you can put them in motion, you can send them into a slant. How
about that play, the touchdown to win the Super Bowl to Mecole Hardman? Just a quick little fake to inside and go back.
Of stuff.
Like quick, just fine. That's easy. Get the ball get the ball in his hands near the line of scrimmage and let his athleticism shine.
Yeah, 64 targets for Josh Reynolds in 2023. So, like I said, once again, J-Mo had 42 and 5 the season before, and we know he only played like 5 or 6 games.
Yep, and Josh Reynolds, it wasn't even like he had the benefit of too many downfield targets. Something that I do believe that that Jameson Williams is going to have the benefit of being able to get like chunk plays, chunk yards, more
targets
so than position
go up,
receiver.
Point blank, though. Like, targets have to go up. Like 42 for your number 2 receiver, especially now. That's kind of egregious.
What's going to be interesting, how the NBA, how basketball, a lot of sports are kind of going, we'll call it positionless. Like, we're throwing around number 1, number 2, number 3 wide receivers. Like, Amon-Ra is definitely our best wide receiver. He's not what you would think of a traditional number 1.
Yeah.
And J-Mo, we want him to be the number 2 receiver, but he's going to play so many different types of roles. Like, I think this team is just so unique. It's so different. It's hard to predict what Ben Johnson is going to do.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to Randy Smalley. He said he's a new guy here. I did see we got a new member that joined.
Oh, shout out.
Randy. And just for people who are joining now and for the new people out there, this obviously is not the normal setup. But there was some technical difficulties today. Hopefully they get it figured out for the other shows. But we love our chat. It's still the best chat, and help us, guys. It's still the best chat here at the network in terms of likes. Our show has been the most liked. So please, we definitely ask you guys to definitely go and hit that like button to support the crew. But we wanted to be able to still do this for you all. We were faced with either no stream today or find a way to make it work. And that's what we're going to do. We wanted to find a way to make it work. So Randy, I definitely thank you for being here. But
shout out, Randy.
New guy here. What do you think of us using Hendon Hooker in the Wildcat package in the red zone?
Ooh,
I wouldn't hate it, and I trust Ben Johnson to make that play, to scheme it up.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing about Hendon Hooker. You can use him in so many different ways as long as you're confident that he's healthy, which I assume they are. They talk so highly about their medical staff. Yeah. And you need a playmaker like that out on the field.
Hendon Hooker's not a burner, but he can move. He has speed. He has agility. He can definitely break outside the pocket, and I think that's what a lot of fans like.
Hey, breakout.
Yeah. He might be.
That may be someone we throw on the list.
I know that's what a lot of fans like about him is his mobility, and we have not really had a mobile quarterback in a Lions uniform ever, really.
Mike McMahon,
I guess
Jeff Garcia,
Dante Culpepper wasn't mobile like that. So John Kindle was the wrong type of mobile. He would be mobile and get messed up. Oh my God! But yeah, man. So he brings that element. So yeah, it's intriguing, man. It's definitely intriguing.
Who do you guys in the chat? Who do you guys want to see next as our breakout? And I'm just going to shout out Wolva Lion Sports Talk. That's Coach Mike Jones. We've been chatting on YouTube a little bit and Twitter. He talks a lot about Broderick Martin as another one of those guys. And to me, it depends on the direction they go in the draft or free agency. But we're kind of forgetting about Broderick Martin as maybe not that player next, like that every down type player, but he's a one technique nose tackle type guy who could be filling a hole on this team without having to pay somebody.
That's
pun
true.
Intended.
I have concerns about him because I feel like the coaching staff, I don't want to say gave up on him during the season, but I felt like we should have seen a little bit more of him during the season, but we didn't. I know he was a big body. They drafted him because of how big he was and how raw of a talent he is. But I think I have concerns about his footwork. I think that's the main reason why we didn't see a lot of him is maybe his footwork isn't that good.
His hands too.
Yeah.
His pad level's too high. That's a lot of the stuff they've been working on with him.
I know he was drafted as a project, man. So that's the caveat. But I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned because if he's big but can't move or can't really, get that push, then I don't know how he'll really fit going forward.
Eduardo O'Neill said that's what she said.
Big pause.
No, but also what Wolva Lion Sports Talk has been talking about. Don't underestimate an off season of NFL strength and conditioning.
That's true.
Another off season with now a new defensive line coach on top of John Scott Jr. still there, but now they have Terrell Williams, who has developed some dudes, and he's a really powerful voice in that locker room. So we'll see.
I was saying that was a good transition into the Jeffrey Simmons stuff.
I was going to talk about the coaching as well. How big a confidence boost it is for this Detroit Lions team, especially the young guys, especially the guys who've been in the league, like David Montgomery, who's seen these Detroit Lions from afar. And there weren't too many coaches and complete coaching staffs where you can believe in the rhetoric they're saying. They're all going to come in and say, we're going to win, we're going to this, we're going to that. This team, this Dan Campbell, these assistant coaches, these positional coaches, how much more does their messages now ring true? When they tell them this offseason, I need more out of you. I need you guys to hit this rep a little bit harder. I need you guys to go out there and get this done a little bit faster. I need you guys to go out here. And how much more does it ring true? You're acclimating now your new draft picks, your new free agent signings into this culture. Not one that's trying to get back to winning, not one that's trying to get to some type of a foundational perch, one that already has it set.
Tangible success. It's there now. We were on the doorstep of something great. So absolutely, that's just only going to help fuel this organization going forward and the players that's coming into it. A lot more respect for this coaching staff, knowing that, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. Dan Campbell, he may seem a little off the rails at times, but there's a method to the madness. This guy knows what he's doing. Them making the NFC Championship game was absolutely huge from a lot of different standpoints. But in terms of like bringing people into your culture and player acquisition, that's only going to help it, man. Because people, they see what you've done now. They know that, okay, this is for real, and they want to help contribute to that and be a part of that and, maybe be a part of history. Yeah.
Right before the playoffs, I was talking to CJ GJ and Kendall Vildor, the cornerback, in the locker room, and they were telling me just how competitive their practices have been leading up to this point, which is not something you see often in week 17, week 18, leading into the playoffs, how hard they were hitting, how competitive they were doing things in practice. And they said they trust Dan Campbell and they trust Dre Bly. They trust Aaron Glenn. They trust these coaches because they've done this before. So the plan that they had laid out at the beginning of the season, if they say, all right, we're going to pull back early on so we can have you ready in week 18 in the playoffs.
Right.
Like that trust allows you to practice so much harder, allows you to generate that attitude, that grit, that competitive spirit that you need going into a first ever playoff win at Ford Field. Like those things really matter. And even Amon-Ra St. Brown, he talks about Antoine Randall L as being a guy who's thrown a touchdown pass in a Super Bowl. Like this staff is incredible. We could spend a whole show talking about this coaching staff. Maybe we will one day. Yeah. But they got players across the board, former players across the board that mix well with guys like Ben Johnson, who had that innovative mind. And I'll say it again. Ben Johnson is coming back to learn leadership. Yeah. He's to learn under Dan Campbell. Yep. He's got the brain, and he'll always get better there. He'll continue to strive. But the one thing he lacks, even as a former quarterback, he played in college, and I don't think he played in the NFL, but he's got to just learn those extra little things that Dan Campbell has commanded. That's going to make him so much better of a head coach when he takes that opportunity.
Yep. And, you know, I got to shout out, man, the chat has been awesome.
You guys are.
You guys are helping us. We're getting that much closer to 100 likes. Definitely, if you have the opportunity to, definitely go and hit that like button. Have us continue our streak as a show as being the most liked show on the network. And the real K Collins 77 said, I love this lineup for WDW. That's our Wake Up Woodward crew. I appreciate you guys. Obviously, you know, we can't wait to get back to the full team. You know, shout out Flannel, shout out JB Smooth. But you know, we wanted to be able to again be able to drop in here, be able to say what up to you guys. We're gonna go, you know, a little bit beyond the 10 o'clock mark just because you guys have been great. Yeah, this has been awesome. And that's why I can't wait until we get out and start to do more of our fan interaction, more of our chat interaction. Like we want you guys when we go to some of these games. We're gonna be out at Pistons games too. We're gonna be out at Red Wings games. We'll let you guys know where we're gonna be at. Come and say what up. Let's get some content in. Yeah. Like seriously, let's have some conversation. Let's get to know each other a little bit better because you guys are what help to really drive the show. You guys are what helps make us successful. You guys are how the network is saying, you know what? Maybe this crew, what the real K Collins is saying, maybe there's something to it there. Yeah. So I appreciate you all so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys don't understand the opportunities that a lot of us have you know, we're going to be in the trenches no matter what job we have to do here because this is a family here. Yeah, it really is. But to be able to have this opportunity now, it feels like an obligation to make sure that we give you guys any content that we can. And
we're going to be at the Red Wings game February 26th when they honor the mayor of Hockeytown, the mayor of LCA.
It might be 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd.
22nd, February 22. And Tammy Chin, our chat mom, the OG in here.
Shout out Tammy.
She's hosting, I don't know all the details, but I saw it earlier in the chat. She's hosting a meet and greet for any fans there to connect. Not separate from the Wake Up Woodward, but I think it's a Woodward Sports type meet and greet. We're going to figure out how to be a part of it or come over and meet you guys. I'm excited to get out there. Kool-Aid's got some great ideas of how we're going to get onto the community.
I can't wait. And I'm going to read a couple more of these here, man. Shout out to the community. We're going to definitely get you guys involved even more. Randy Smalley, Next Man Up, Dan Wood, Fast and the Furious Family. You guys already know. Vincent Ellison got you up on the screen. Thank you guys for the great show. We appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Thank you. Hey, here's one for KG Eric Wilson. Is homie on the right sleeping?
Nah, I'm chilling, man.
We chilling. It's a vibe. Right. We with the fans.
Is it bad? I like this setup more than the desk. I ain't gonna lie.
That's now natural. Y'all understand why I was saying some of these ideas we're talking about. We got more stuff on the way. We have to. We have to. And let me see. There's a couple more before we move on. Wake Up Woodward has it all. Lions Insider and Broder, Pistons Insider and Kool-Aid. Broder is a baseball pitcher and expert. KG is going to have to be the wing nut.
KG the wing nut.
Hey, I'm with that. Let's go. I'm with that.
Just get KG. You can just, your personality can just be sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, beat up. I was just there yesterday. Me and my lady. So
drumsticks, eating the drummies.
Hey, no, boneless. You know it.
Not a flats guy.
Oh, KG, I know. Definitely not a flats guy.
They say you need to take the tracking camera home.
Yeah, seriously, this thing like is in love with me, man. It's still moving. I can see it like moving.
It's trying. It's gonna follow you home.
I swear, man. I'm scared of this damn technology.
Thanks to Woodward Mornings for going late. Yeah, definitely Matthew.
Hey, we
Kruger.
owe it to y'all,
Definitely,
man.
man.
Definitely.
And Matthew Kruger, I love that you said that too. We've had some differing opinions. Like I love how the debate is starting to take place, and it's just going to continue to evolve. But there's nothing wrong with having differing opinions,
Right?
Just as long as it doesn't get personal, as long as it doesn't get violent, verbally violent. Like, hey, let's debate away.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, say, hey, all right, we'll see you tomorrow.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Matthew Kruger is one of those guys where if we're doing a show and I'm looking at the chat, I'm like, there's a regular, there's Eduardo, there's Dan, there's Danny G, there's Chef. If I don't see Matthew Kruger, I'm letting you know, bro, I'm gonna feel personally hurt, man. Like, don't leave us hanging like that.
Yeah, man. But I always say we all fans at heart, man. And there's most times no right or wrong answers, and we all are trying to get to the same place, but we all have different routes to get there. And that's okay. That's okay. But at the end, we all love Detroit sports, man. So let's just keep it clean, bro. We all love each other at the end of the day. We may not disagree. Sam might flip his shit over certain topics, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But we all come back as a crew at the end of the day. We all respect each other, and that's what it is, man. We just here to give good content to the people. So
yeah, Flano, he's I believe he's on Big D Energy again today.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. We're trying not to make sure that he is overworked. So you can definitely catch him on Big D Energy. I love when we do the show with him. He's part of our crew. He's part of our brotherhood here. Man. He's somebody that well before my face was on any cameras here at Woodward Sports, you talk about a person who continued to keep my spirits kind of uplifted, continue to be a brother behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sam. I call him Sam Reynolds. That's why you guys will also hear me refer to him as his full government. The full government. Because he's a great guy, and that's what I've come to know and love about all these guys. I'm over here right now looking at Brady across the hall from us, Griffin next door to us. Soon we're gonna have the Genius Room over here with Ryan and Noah. We talking about our sales guys, our graphics guys, our video guys. Shout out to John Kloss as well, the guy who does a lot of our clipping. There's so many behind the scenes people. There's so many kind of people who probably deserve to be a little bit more out front. We're going to at least make sure on our Wake Up Woodward that we give these guys their shout outs as much as we can. So it's from you guys to all the other people that surround us, man. It's great. Obviously, JB Smooth, the man. There's not enough that we can say about him. He's probably trained. He trained both you and I.
Yeah, he did.
JB Smooth.
Hey, and when JB ain't here, this ship goes down quick, boy.
It does.
Let me tell you, that man he needs to be definitely appreciated around this place.
My captain.
Yes.
I say like to keep going. I say we just start answering questions from the
Travis.
chat.
Shout out Travis. My bad.
Oh, big Travis.
Travis has entered the social team.
Oh, yeah.
It's Travis, myself, and we got a new guy, Kyle.
Travis, my guy.
Travis, bro, shout out to you. You talking about holding it down on this social squad at a time when we absolutely need it. Woodward Sports, we're a social media company. You know what I mean? We're a digital company. For everything you've done, bro, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just got to make sure that I said that. I can't believe I didn't mention them first, but good job, brother. Good job, for real.
Yes.
Good job, man. I love this crew, man.
We're all here trying to make a name for ourselves. We all understand what we're getting ourselves into, and it's a grind to get to where we want to be.
Yeah.
But hey, we're out here trying. We're out here trying.
One more from the
chat. No, let it fly.
Before we
I think we should keep answering questions from like everyone who here wants to be here. I say we let them direct the rest of the show. How about that?
Yeah, he said, "How's fatherhood treating you?" I love it. Honestly, I love it. I love it, man. And the support that I've gotten from the people here, I wish you guys, and that's what we're hoping that our content moving forward and some of the extra stuff we're going to bring, I want to be able to include you guys in on the type of brotherhood we have, the type of family we have, and the way these guys support me here and the ways we support each other. And honestly, my family, man, they support a ton. I love my kids, love my wife, love my family. And it's through change, through some up and downs, through some kind of situations that have kind of thrown us through a loop. Both my family at home and my family at Woodward have kept things very grounded and honestly fun. I can say that for real.
Brian Ruth has 5 boys.
5 boys.
5 boys. That's a big family.
Bro, that's a starting lineup, bro.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a
bring them home.
Hey, let's rock. That's a defensive line right there.
Yeah. That's scary, man.
That's
5 kids is scary.
How about this question? This question from the away fan, or not excuse me. Shout out to the away fan from that guy up north. And this is actually from earlier, but here's another conversation many won't want to be real about. Are you paying Amon-Ra St. Brown? Are you drafting and signing his replacement?
You pay that man. Blank check. Like, are we?
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm paying that man.
You pay him, man. You think of he's been the hardest worker in this organization since they started this restore. You know, the guy, he just comes in, he works every day, and he's just only gotten better and better and better and better. I don't know how you don't just pay this man.
I'm with you.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He's probably the first on my docket to get paid, to being real.
Pay him now before it gets too expensive.
I'm trying to tell you.
Like before Justin Jefferson goes and tries to get $50 million, give the
also,
pay the man. He's a fourth rounder.
Can we shut down the narrative? I don't think he's a holdout guy, because I know I've been seeing that a lot lately. Like, will Amon-Ra hold out if he doesn't get the contract that he has?
Only if the NFL keeps finding him.
Yeah. So I want to say I doubt it, and he isn't that guy. But at the same time, do what you got to do to get your money. Like, if he feels that way. But
the Lions, they've shown me that they're loyal to their guys, especially the ones that come in and put nose to the grindstone every day and work, man. So I expect him to be first up on the round of re-signs.
Oh, yeah, in the chat is saying, pay that man, Mark Walston. Denver Blair, blank. Mr. Jiggles, facts, pay the sun god. Mark Walston, he is Detroit. Brian Ruth, I'm paying, saying, is that even really a question? I think it's not necessarily a question that's difficult to answer, but I think it's one to be able to ask and us to be able to honestly pay our homage to what Amon-Ra St. Brown has meant to Detroit. When I hear questions like that, just like when we brought up the list earlier about Jared Goff, it gives us an opportunity to really, really, really talk our talk about guys who we know make Detroit, not just our sports team, but Detroit a better place. Mm-hmm. Those are two guys that I'm happy to have representing Detroit.
Yes.
So Amon-Ra, Jared Goff, and a lot of these guys.
Penei
Sewell. These are guys that I am happy to have representing Detroit. And any chance we can get, whether provoked or unprovoked, to be able to talk about them in a positive manner, we definitely will do that.
Yeah.
Definitely will, man.
Pay that man.
Pay.
How about this? Eduardo O'Neill, mailbag. What do all these teams have in common? San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. Hint, it has something to do with the Lions in the last 3 years. I don't have that. I've been thinking about it while you guys were talking.
We haven't beaten all of those.
And I want to think about it before we're all before it gets dead silent in here and we lose everybody.
No, we'll think about it. Matthew Kruger, I'll throw this in there as well while we're thinking about it. He said, I'd like to see Woodward at major festivals around Michigan, like Cheeseburger and Vassalville. Come up, boys, get some burgers and brews.
Oh,
yes, please.
That's what I'm saying. Our crew is going to be
where
visible.
Is that at?
Like the Woodward is going to be visible. We're going to be out and about.
I'm hungry. Right? I'm hungry. Matthew Kruger also said, Broder, over Jason Foley, 40 saves for the Tigers. I'm going to go under. Not because I don't think he's going to be nasty.
Yeah, that's a lot of
nasty.
saves.
But I think he's going to split some time with Alex Lang. And I don't know if I'm thinking they're going to be around 81, 82, 83 wins. 40 saves is a hell of a year. He's got the talent.
For one player, that's a hell of a year.
Yeah, I just don't think this is a year he's maybe the closer from start to finish.
Yeah.
We'll see. So I'm going to go under. You got an opinion, KG?
I'm going under too.
KG knows his baseball, by the way. It's not just me on this cast.
I know a little something, man. I keep up with the Tigers. Fun fact, I was a vendor at Comerica Park during their 2012 run. So I got to see the World Series. I got to see the ALCS championship win. Oh my God, it was amazing. Nothing like it, man. Nothing like it.
Is that Maglio's 2012?
2012.
Is that Maglio's walk-off?
That's 06.
Oh, yeah, that's what.
Yeah. And that was magical, too. That was magical, too. See? But, man, that 2012, I don't understand why they didn't win the World Series. I do understand. It was that damn 6-day rest. They always ran into that little rest period, and it just always threw them off. Because in the 06 series, they had the rest period, and it did them in.
It really did, and it affects baseball players a lot. It's the rhythm, seeing pitches.
Yeah. Man, you can't simulate that, but
they were by far the best team leading up to that.
That 2012 year was crazy. You had Mags, you had Prince Fielder. Who else?
Scherzer. They had
oh my God, yeah, you did have JV and Scherzer on the same team.
Doug Fister. Doug Fister?
Doug Fister.
I just met her. Oh man, hey, that
was a year, man.
Dante 151. He said, "Come up to Traverse City during the Cherry Festival to do a show." We definitely got to do that, man. Our cruise festival.
We got to get out, man. We got to get out here.
We will.
Did I tell you on this show when I went to the second largest cherry distributor in the world? Was it out in I played in Germany for a year. I lived out there for a year.
That's a flex.
And I had a tour. The German Professional League. It isn't exactly comparable to the state. A little
man, not skip that, bro. We're gonna make sure we big up our guy. Look, this man played Professional.
Exactly.
That's right.
So one weekend we had off. We went to Bad Nauheim, which is a small town in Germany. It's actually where Elvis was stationed when he was in the war. But we were on this tour and we stopped at this. It was like a cherry. I don't even know how to describe it anymore, but they ended up being the second largest cherry distributor in the world. And the person in there, trying to speak English to me was like, yeah, we're second to like Traverse City, Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's where we're from.
Michigan is a big cherry state.
It is.
Yeah.
Traverse City's number one.
Mhm.
Yep. And I love it too, man. Just kind of traveling the state all over from like St. Joseph's, Traverse City, Mackinac. These are areas we definitely gotta go as a
I've never been to Mackinac.
What?
Never, ever.
Okay.
What the fudge?
Yeah,
All right.
seriously.
See what you did there.
Khalil's
You know
starting
what?
to pick
I
up
ain't
on
gonna
it.
lie. You don't see. I ain't see too many of my kind out there.
Terry
so
Foster
I
said the
ain't
same
know.
thing. Look,
I ain't know.
I love it, man. My dad, he was a part of the, he worked in the automotive industry for a long time, and they have like this big auto conference that happens in Traverse City at I forget the name of the hotel, but it's like something with a bear. There's a golf course and all
Great
of
Bear
that.
Lodge, Great Wolf Lodge.
No,
Okay,
it wasn't
right,
Great
sorry.
Wolf Lodge, but it was something. I forget the name of the hotel. But he would take me down there about the age of 13. I was acting up at home, man. When the summers were happening, I thought I was a man, get a little bit of fuzz here. My mom was like,
Feeling
take him
yourself.
with you. Do not leave the oldest with me right now. My dad took me out there, put me in a suit, took me to some of these conferences. And that was my first interaction with Traverse City. And my dad was like, you know what, when I was a kid, because my uncle Cedric, he's part of this group called Take Six, and he would go to this school called Interlocking. So my dad was like, you know what, I'm just going to take you around the state.
I went there.
Went
for
up
a
to
summer.
Interlocking. It's awesome. It's beautiful.
Wild.
Took me to Mackinac.
Band camp.
And I was like, you know what? Whether there's a lot of us out there or not, I got to keep coming back because it was beautiful, man. Wound up now it's a tradition that me and my family do. Every year for my birthday, first week in August, we try and get up to Mackinac. We visit Traverse City. We visit Charlevoix. I love Charlevoix. Absolutely love it. The bay that's
Beautiful.
out there, it's beautiful.
Nice.
We got to take a trip, bro.
Yeah, I'm with it.
We got
I heard the chocolate there is good, or the fudge,
The
or
fudge.
something. Yeah,
Mackinac
fudge.
Island
Yeah.
fudge.
Yep, the ice
Yeah.
cream.
By the way, Eduardo O'Neill, he gave the answer. Don't look at your guys' phones.
Oh, okay.
What Philly, the 49ers, and Kansas City have all in common? And I'm going to give it to you because I don't think
In
you
the
guys-
past 3 years.
in the past 3 years.
I don't know.
So San Francisco 2021 NFC title game loss, Philly 2022 NFC title game and Super Bowl loss, Kansas City 2023 AFC title game, Super Bowl win. All three teams the Lions have opened up with have made it to at least the title game.
Damn.
Wild, Eduardo.
Damn. Yeah,
That is wild.
that's facts.
Wow.
Woodward, is Todd Jones the best closer in Tigers history? Oh my gosh, Matthew Kruger. Maybe.
My personal
I love
favorite
Todd
was
Jones,
Jose
though.
Valverde, though.
Yeah.
That was my guy. He may not be the best, but he had a lot of saves, and man, that entrance was just amazing, man. He always do the run out, do the little knee slap. Oh my God, Jose Valverde was the man.
Crazy.
Yes,
Crazy,
man.
man. There have been some good relievers, maybe not with the Tigers, but like
Oh, man.
K-Rod, Francisco
Papa
Rodriguez,
Grande.
Joe Nathan.
Yeah,
I'm going to take those guys out of the category.
Big potato.
Todd Jones was the original one. I remember watching with my dad.
Mhm.
This my dad, anytime he was Todd Jones is a bum. Like
Yeah.
that's he was the original, like coming in. You never know what you're gonna get out of him. He might walk
Right.
4 guys, he might strike out 3 guys. You look back on it, his stats were like he was a very successful closer for a long period of time.
yeah,
I don't know who the best closers were, before the,
right.
the
In
80s,
the 80s
but
and stuff. Yeah,
Todd Jones has got to be up there.
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is.
I like that
definitely.
he's on. He's one of the analysts. They have 6 or 7 analysts, Bally Sports does,
Yeah.
that were former Tigers players. There's something
Yeah.
cool about that.
Shout
to
out
me.
Craig Muir. I'm a big fan of Craig
Yeah.
Muir, man. I liked him as a player and as a commentator, man.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there we go. Mason Leach, Broder,
you know
y'all
what?
gonna have to come up to Frankenmuth for Beer Fest
I love Frank
and do a show.
Chicken up
the
there.
chicken.
Mwah.
You know,
Heavyweights, damn sure will.
we jumped on the chicken thing.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think a
well,
little too
you
quick,
know
bro.
why,
Both of us like, yo, that chicken.
Hey, man.
Love me some fried chicken.
Yeah, man.
Frank can move. While we're talking about the Tigers, man, Broder,
Yo,
down the southpaw, is Detroit Tigers Tarik Skubal a Cy Young candidate?
yes,
Ooh.
and I think we should
Set the
say this
punctuation.
full segment for tomorrow with the
tomorrow.
board and everything.
Yeah.
But he is. Tarik Skubal is definitely that guy. He pitched in, was it after he came back from injury? It was about 80 innings, 80 and a third innings or something, and shoved. Like, and when I say shoved, baseball terminology for just he dealt. He was
okay,
almost a dominant pitcher. When you look at how he progressed in the I forget how many innings he pitched in September, but he had one of the best. He actually was the second best months as a starting pitcher in Tigers history. His September, I think he was 4-0. I have this stat somewhere. Oh, here we go. AL pitcher of the month, 4-0, allowed 3 runs in 5 starts with a 43-4 K. Oh, so he struck out 43 hitters, only 4 walks. He's the second best pitching month in Tigers history. Yeah, so Skubal, what this injury did. So I'll just keep it simple for today, and we'll get into the nitty gritty tomorrow. What this injury did, it allowed him to tweak his mechanics to better get the most out of his arm. And by doing that, it means he's using his body more. He's using his legs more. He's figuring out how to use to tweak his mechanics to generate more power with his arm, but without putting as much stress on his arm.
Right.
His velocity jumped up. He was averaging over 95 miles per hour on his fastball in September, which is up 2 or 3 miles per hour from where he was before he got hurt.
Yeah.
So he got hurt and his velocity is increasing.
Going up, and that's crazy.
Right. 6'3", 240 pounds. Like this is a guy who has he's got the makeup, and he's a lefty. He's a southpaw. He has the makeup to be great. Now it's this next step. Now that he's healthy, it's staying healthy, developing his array of pitches. His changeup was nasty. Yeah. Nasty last year. Developing that 3rd, 4th, 5th pitches. That's how he really takes the next step. And to go, we'll have a deeper Cy Young conversation, but Cy Young a lot of the decision making is going to revolve around how many wins. So we'll see how much run support he gets. I don't know if this Tigers team is ready to support a pitcher going in through a Cy Young race, but Tarik Skubal has all the talent. He could certainly be there this year. KG, what you thinking?
I think the exact same thing. I like the stuff he has last year. It's just really health, like you said. And getting that run support is going to be crucial because we have a lot of young bats and they are learning how to be more consistent. Now, what we saw towards the end of the year last year was definitely like a wake up, and I like what we see from these guys like in the lineup. But yeah, man, if he can get that run support, I think the sky's the limit. And then you look at, we have a mean rotation. I like the additions that they made. Jack Flaherty, Kenta Maeda. Right. Man, they've only added to what was already a good pitching starting lineup, man.
Nice, a good young pitch. Yeah. Now it's deep.
And we just need the relief pitching with it. Now, if we can get the relief pitching with that, I mean, there's no telling where this Tigers line.
I'm buying stock, man. I'm buying stock in the Detroit Tigers. And you know what's cool is just seeing you talk Detroit Tigers, man, and just seeing your face kind of light up. No, it's awesome, man, because I think this is the type of passion that is necessary and needed for Detroit sports. I always wanted our media to be able to match our passion. That's what I always wanted to do. And it's like, these are people who've been at the playoff runs of the Pistons, been in the stands and in the building for the Detroit Tigers runs. These are people who have supported the Lions. These are people who have continued to just support, whether it was good seasons or bad seasons. These are the type of people that I want to hear from when we're talking about our Detroit teams and the Red Wings as well. Like the people who have just kind of stayed hooked. They don't kind of waver based on where the team is going. I don't want to hear from somebody who, shout out to those people who hold these positions and maybe they weren't in the trenches. Maybe they're new to this scene. Maybe they come with a different approach. And I believe that there's a place for those types of media people.
Definitely.
But to know that, no, this is a passion of yours, not just baseball, but the Detroit Tigers. That's who I want to hear talking about the Detroit Tigers.
And there's a whole nother side to sports and being on a team and getting ready for a season in any sport that it takes some unique perspectives to realize it's not just the stat or the end result on the field or the court or whatever. It's all the stuff that happens in a locker room. And I'm not saying there's a balance where you need both. Like that's why I love working with Sam Flannel, because we have so many like we have very similar opinions, but we look at it in a different way. And there are ways to supplement each side in terms of the intangibles and the stats. And that's why I'm excited to work with someone like that. And that's why you need both sides to everything.
You do.
Yeah. You do. Your face is lighting up.
Hey, shout out to Dante 151, man. Any type of support is always great. And the super chat, man, thank you so much for that. He said, I actually got to meet Craig Monroe when Bally Sports did the Traverse City Central versus Traverse City West football game. He's a really nice guy and asked how it was with Verlander in Clubhouse, and there was no love lost. And you know what? I got to meet him as well when Woodward just started getting going. We were broadcasting live from the tin roof. And it was pretty cool day. Tigers were just getting going. It was opening day, and he actually stopped by, said what up, took pictures with us.
Yeah,
I'm just like, yo, thanks for supporting us and supporting Woodward. It was awesome. You talking about a good guy, man, Dante. I think that everybody who's met him, they have that same experience, man.
I can't remember if Craig Monroe was on one of my favorite iterations of the Tigers, even though they sucked.
Right.
You remember when they had Gary Sheffield and Johnny Damon and
they had a lot of swag.
Man,
Carlos
my God.
Carlos
Guillen was the
He'd wear
man.
his pants.
Carlos Guillen.
Yes, Carlos Guillen was the man.
He'd wear his pants like almost over his entire shoe.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Carlos Guillen,
that was
bro.
one of my favorite iterations of the Tigers. Kenny Rogers. We had Crazy Kenny.
The gambler.
Oh my God, man.
Oh, y'all remember? You guys remember? We have to reminisce a little bit more too. When Carlos Guillen did the stare down of Weaver.
Oh yeah, I do
And
remember
then
that.
skip down the bases, man.
Jared Weaver, yup.
Dog, I
Those were
some
love
years,
man.
that. I love
We didn't
that
do nothing,
team.
but those were some years, man. Those were some entertainment.
Pudge
years.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, Pudge, man. Shout out Pudge.
Who
man.
said that?
That
The
changed-
real K Collins.
Yeah,
That changed.
I'm mad I ain't get a
everything.
chance to meet him. He came by Channel 7 one day. And
Pudge?
he did an interview, I think, with Brad Galley. At the time, they were doing the Sports Cave still. Now he came in, man, and he has a presence about him, man. And I was so mad I didn't get a chance to speak to him. But yeah, great guy, I heard.
Bobby Higginson,
Bobby Higgins.
Mark Walston, and Matthew Kruger said Higginson was a dog. I used to love Bobby.
He had a
Higginson.
cannon.
Yeah,
I loved his just attitude. I loved his persona too.
yeah.
It was
He's not a good guy
man.
off the field.
You
He's
know
a
what?
bad dude.
I believe that.
Is Ken Griffey Jr. Major League Baseball and or Slugfest the best baseball video games ever made? Yes.
That's tough. I'm a big fan of the show, though.
Yeah, I was.
I'm
about
a
to
big
say, the show
fan
was,
of MLB
was
the
pretty
show,
epic.
man.
I just gotta go back to N64 days.
Yeah, yeah. But
How
Ken
about-
Griffey is the man. Shout out Ken Griffey. man.
Tigers are right around the corner, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That guy up north. How about this? I wonder if you guys have an opinion. I know it's kind of directed towards me, but is there any truth truth to that? Sorry, that guy up north. Is there any truth to the talk that players are electing for preventative Tommy John surgery nowadays
Yeah,
to get it done with?
absolutely. Because it's a surgery that it's not a career killer like it kind of
Right.
used to be. It's almost mandatory at this point for most young pitchers to go through Tommy John surgery, because you get it out the way and then you repair your mechanics and get them back to what they were. It's an easier surgery to get past now.
True.
Yeah, they are opting more to just getting it over with now. What do you think?
I think it's more, at least now, more at the youth level,
Yeah,
like where it's more the crazy parents willing to get
that's
it out of the
at
way early,
youth level.
which I disagree with. Like,
Yeah,
it shouldn't be that way.
you can't do that to your kid.
No,
man.
but there's no one in the college or professional ranks that will have no player will pursue elective Tommy John surgery. Even with the success rate, it's improving. The medical world is improving.
Yeah,
There's still a chance it doesn't work. There's actually a very high percentage of chance that you don't come back and be the same. We just hear about the guys
yeah.
who do come back. So it's a minimum,
Ain't
8 to 12 month surgery. So you're taking a full year off. Surgery sucks. I had a labrum
Yeah.
surgery. You never want to go through it.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that starting pitchers aren't going as long as they used to, but we're seeing more and more
Mhm.
Tommy John surgeries?
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the focus is on velocity and spin rate and
Right.
and bringing guys in cold out of the bullpen to throw 15 pitches as hard as they can
Yeah.
instead of
Sheesh.
100 pitches getting warmed up over the course of the game. We're gonna keep seeing pitchers injuries as
Right.
these athletes develop. It's not even
Yeah.
their fault. They're so talented.
Don't
Arms just don't they can't take
You
it.
gotta say
Yeah.
what up to the people, man. They're asking about.
Oh, Sam Flannel
This is in the studio!
building.
It's
Yeah.
down right there.
Hey, what up, though? What up,
Flannel!
though? Oh
We need to
man.
pivot. Are you guys Is everything working in the main studio? Okay, to be determined.
Yeah. Right.
We're gonna run up to your show, but we'll shut off before 11.
Yep. Hey, the keys to wisdom said Curtis Granderson was also too. Good to see you, brother.
Oh, Curtis Granderson was one of my favorite Tigers,
Randy.
man. Curtis Granderson, Torrey Hunter.
Torrey Hunter.
Man, I got a ball thrown to me by Torrey Hunter, man.
Oh.
I ended up gifting it to a friend of mine for like a wedding present, but that was dope. That was the first time I ever got a ball thrown to me by a player. But yeah, Torrey Hunter was the man.
Yes, Dan Wood. Too many travel team warrior coaches teaching thumb up pitches to too young and no offseason. Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
We were when I was growing up, it was almost as if we weren't allowed to throw a curveball until we were like 16.
Really?
Wow.
Like once the data started coming out, I was like, I didn't throw a curveball until high school.
Damn.
That's and at that point it was a knuckle curve, and I was fiddling with that. But no, you got to learn how to. Young pitchers learn how to throw strikes. Start there. Just throw strikes.
Yeah.
Honestly, the majority of high school pitchers can't even throw strikes. If you can throw strikes, you will play.
It's big facts.
Yeah, man. Look, I played with a guy. His name was John Kreider, and shout out to his dad, Paul Kreider, who was our coach at Romulus Summit Academy. It was actually my first year playing baseball. They were like, "Hey, man, you're fast." I couldn't hit a lick to start the season, but I'm telling you, no, they coached me up. Wound up like you guys have heard the story. Led the league in steals.
Oh yeah,
of course.
Got second team all league off that.
I wonder why that is. Now
I wonder why. I might have been one of the few melanated or the only melanated people on the team. But I saw this guy go out there and throw a perfect game where he struck out everybody. It was crazy because the team we were playing, it was one of the teams that generally when you play them, these guys are getting hits. They're getting hits. Like, and he was in an absolute zone. And generally they would limit your pitch count. Like, but his dad is a coach, and his dad was like, he's dealing right now. He's dealing right now. Let him go. It was one of the craziest things I ever saw live, like outside of the pro game. You know, we go to the game. This guy was absolutely dealing, man.
Perfect.
Shout
games
out
are
to,
still amazing,
to John
man.
Kreider, man.
Do have no hitters lost their luster now that we're seeing more and more of them?
Starting to a little bit.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's nobody's fault. It's just the less unique it is, the less exclusive.
Yeah.
The less gusto it has. Like perfect
It's
games
amazing,
are
man.
next.
I almost, like I said, I used to be a vendor for the Tigers. There was one game we were paying the Pittsburgh Pirates, and this is Andrew McCutchen in his prime, right? So I take my shirt off, I sneak up to the 300 level, get me a seat. And JV was absolutely dealing. I don't know, and people in the chat might know what game this is, the Bureau of Baseball Fanatics. Man, JV had a no-hitter through 9 and I think 1 out. And then I can't remember. It was McCutchen. He launched one right over Santiago's head in the center of the field, and that was what ended it, man. But we were literally 2 outs away from a third. I think that would have been his third no-hitter of his Tigers career.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was at the stadium. I've never seen anything like it, man. Like
it was like everyone on their feet. I've never been in the stadium when that. What was it like? Everyone on their feet.
It was just a buzz. You felt it, man. And yeah, when the ninth inning came, a lot of people were on their feet. Once he got that first out, everybody was going crazy, man. And I think the second out, McCutchen came up to the plate. He put it right above Santiago's head, man. Man, shout out Ramon Santiago too. He was another low-key Tiger, but man, just amazing. But seeing something like that is like from a pitcher, it still got something to me, but it is kind of loose. Everybody does it now. It seems like we get at least 5 every year.
Bro, when Comerica Park is rocking. You want to talk about, to me, one of the best sports experiences really around, to be able to kind of see the game even from outside the stadium. When that stadium is rocking, when that team is good, man, dog, you talk about summers in Detroit, it is the place to absolutely be. And hearing the roar, like I remember going to Tigers games growing up. I remember coming back from college, and that was just the place I wanted to be because they were on fire, man. And hearing that stadium just absolutely going crazy as you're walking up to it. Yeah, you almost enter a different realm of of life, man. Yeah, seriously. Walking into that stadium, finding your seats, and it gets to the point, especially when Miguel Cabrera, whenever he stepped up to the plate, that was just a completely different energy. Yeah, especially in the zones where he can generally hit one out, man. To kind of sit in that area, and I've been in a stadium where he's hit a home run. It's absolute bananas, man.
One of the best pure hitters I've ever seen. Just me personally, seeing play the game. Man. Absolutely, yeah. You talk about somebody that can hit it anywhere, man. You can throw it out the zone, he's gonna hit it. you knew not to throw it in the zone. But yeah, he's just one of the absolute just pure hitters I've ever seen play the game. But yeah, like you said, man, there's nothing like a sold out Comerica Park.
Right.
And I worked there at a time where 40,000 was easy. That was like a normal day. 40,000 people, man. So like, yeah, we need to get back to that. I can't wait to see what Scott Harris and the guys going forward have. My only gripe, Chris Ilitch just can't be afraid to spend money when the time calls upon that.
When the time calls upon it.
Yes.
I'm with you. He's needed to spend in the past and maybe miss some opportunities. Everyone wants him to spend right now. This is not the time.
And don't, for God's sakes, don't give out a bias contract.
Especially when you have the front office that you do right now that I believe can actually help to position you to not need to necessarily go and throw around the money to just field a competent team. I believe with what the guys that they have right now kind of running the show from the front office, and you got AJ Hinch as well managing it on the field.
Yeah.
Now you have the opportunity to kind of see what you have, and then I think they're positioned better than the Pistons are to actually then go and make the right type of splash.
Yeah.
You don't know if that's a pitcher, you don't know if that's a closer, you don't know if that's a big bat, you don't know that yet. Let these guys and this young talent that I'm telling you, I'm buying stock in the Detroit Tigers, man. Let this talent kind of work itself out, see what you have, see what you need. And then when that, like you said, when that time is right to kind of push in all the chips and go over the edge, I think at that point in time, that's when you do it. Because baseball is built and done differently than it was during the times of the OG Mr. Ilitch, Mr. I.
Dave Dombrowski.
Yeah, Dave Dombrowski. It's done a little bit different. I think that there's still some teams that can operate like that, but I don't believe that that's what we're going to see here with the Detroit Tigers anymore going forward. And I actually like what they're doing right now. Yeah. I do. Kind of build up, get a solid nucleus, a solid base, and then go out there and spin when it's best suits this team. Like dog, I got actually hyped now. I'm looking forward to.
I'm excited. A lot of what they bring reminds me of the Lions when they were about to turn it around. They're very similar to what the Lions were.
I think that needs to become a segment. Like there's a lot of similarities between that. It's like in between 2021 and 2022 season, like after the 3-13 year.
Yep.
There's a lot of we got to have this conversation.
Yeah, I'm with that. We can put that on the sheet. Definitely.
What you saying in the chats, man? What you saying?
Speak easy. How about that? I don't know what happened, but how can you not respect this grind? That's what I'm talking about. Speak easy.
All the technology, it failed on us this morning, and we were faced with it, especially to the people that are here new. We were faced with don't do the show or find some way to have the show go on. We talked about, do we just do a Twitter Spaces? And we were like, well, that might not necessarily put us in front of the people that definitely support us on a day-to-day basis. So we were like, how can we get this done? JB the Go was like, hey, you guys can use the VMix in the back. Came back here. Technology was still on the fritz. But we found a way to get it done. We found a way to get it done. We persevered, man. It's Detroit. It's that grit.
Yeah, man.
Right? It's that grind. Now you guys understand. We totally are in lockstep with what this city is all about and what it's known for. It's not just our sports teams, but it's our people and kind of that bridge that's always got between finding, like Dan Campbell said, these players that we have, they fit the city. They fit the persona. And I can tell you, the guys we got at Woodward Sports, not just Wake Up Woodward, but all of our shows, including the heavies, man, they fit Detroit sports, man. They fit Detroit city. It just is what it is, man. And I'm glad to be a part of it, man. Shout out to Easy as well.
Speak easy.
You guys are amazing, too. We're at 120 likes, man. Yo,
zing!
My guys.
Man, I told him, man, look, if we can get to 130, 140, 150, let's keep it rocking, man. Let's keep it moving. This is inspiring, man.
Let's do it. We can go up until about 5, 6, 7 more minutes.
Let's do it.
Try to get 20.
Any questions? Drop them in the chat, y'all. We will answer them.
Anything. Doesn't even have to be sport. This is a sports show, so maybe steer that way. But shoot, ask us about anything.
Yeah. Matthew Kruger said, Woodward mornings. What you like better, night games or day games? What's more iconic to you?
Without a doubt, night games. There's nothing like a Tigers night game. Good 60-degree, 65-degree day. Oh man, fireworks show at the end. I absolutely love night games, but I'm not opposed to a day game as long as it's not too hot.
I'm kind of a day game guy.
I'm not mad at that.
Wait, so I have to break the tie then.
Night game's fun, but like something about a super hot day, a cold beer, watching a Tigers game, especially now that the games are 2 hours or 15 minutes. 2 hours.
Best thing that ever happened to baseball, the pitch clock.
I was so against.
I swear,
I was so against all the changes until the season started rolling along, and then I think. Man, they hit it right on the head.
Yeah, they did.
It
was overdue. It was.
is.
You got to change with the times. I understand the tradition of baseball, but that's also the problem with baseball is the tradition. That's why we see guys that should be Hall of Famers not be in the Hall of Fame in baseball, and it absolutely sickens me.
Wow.
But yeah, it was just time to adapt, man. Bigger bases. We want to see more scoring. Every sports league does it. It was time for baseball. Man.
It was Kool-Aid day game or night game.
I got to do the cop out here, and I got to say both, man. For different reasons. It's cold pie in the summer.
Roast him in the chat for that.
It's Comerica Park in the summer. I'm telling you
Sounds
guys.
like a day game.
Listen, no, the day games.
We're not going to argue about
You
this.
sound like a day game guy. I ain't gonna hold you.
The day games are awesome. They are awesome, man. And it's like you said, man, kind of being out there in the atmosphere. It kind of is that chill vibe, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when I go to those day games, especially sometimes when we would sneak away from work and get out there, man. I would absolutely love it.
I just hate being
But
hot as
sometimes
hell.
those night games, man, especially like you said with the fireworks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If they're winning, oh my God, night games have a different
it's
vibe,
crazy.
Man.
It's crazy. It's kind of that Woodward feel. Woodward at night, man. The way the city lights up, the way the city's just kind of a buzz. I don't know how you really choose, how you really pick, man. At least from my perspective.
If the team's good, they're both going to be amazing.
Yeah. Them day games can be brutal if the sun's out, though. No clouds. Oh, my God. Comerica Park is like one of those parks where the sun is beaming on you the whole time.
True. Dan Wood said that in the chat, too.
Said Fence Center Kool-Aid.
I told him to roast you. I told him to roast you.
You got to pick a side, man.
All right.
Pick a side.
If I had to pick one, honestly, it's those night games.
Yeah.
It would be the night games.
That's
just
okay.
That vibe, man. I love the city when it's lit up at night. I love the kind of how the backdrop is. But you can't go wrong with either one. It's Detroit, man. You can't. And you know what?
I've been to some great day games.
Shout to is that Julius Quinn or Gwen? Said, I'm a Detroit native living in Nashville, Tennessee.
Shout out.
I listen to you guys every morning. I love the content. Keep it going. Thank you guys again for supporting. We didn't know what to expect. We thought, hey, maybe we go live and maybe our chat is too snooty. Maybe they're like, oh, this ain't the regular setup.
Right.
But instead, you guys were like, you know what? Let's rock. And we said, let's rock.
Hey,
Julius, your Vanderbilt baseball team, we got some bad memories against them. They take Michigan out every time we get to the promised land. Vanderbilt baseball team.
I just want to point out Tennessee is beautiful too. I took a trip. I took a trip to Memphis this past year. Oh my God, man! I was considering moving out there. It's real nice, man. The people were great. Yes. The food is amazing. Oh my God, I had some really good food out there.
Amazing music, entertainment. Like
they on the come up, man.
Everything.
And they building a new stadium for the Titans out there, man. I'm excited to see what that looks like. So yeah, I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Shout out Taylor Lewan.
Yeah, big shout out.
Tailgate wins. This is Nick, Detroit Mario.
Hey, shout out Nick.
What up, yo?
Nick, my guy.
Or what up, Doe?
What up, Doe?
Okay.
What up, Doe?
I'm gonna ask you live. Is there some cultural significance to what up, Doe in Detroit?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's not. I mean, it is. I think of you as you guys.
The culture.
You individuals, Kool-Aid and KG, as like you guys always said, "What up, Doe?" to me.
Yeah.
What is the cultural significance?
It's just the Detroit term.
That's
we have like our own kind of lingo here,
right?
And it resonates with people. You talk about as the years go on and more people kind of get hip to our type of lingo.
Mm-hmm.
It matters. It's almost like Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that are kind of significant and exclusive to who we are as a people. And it just continues to catch on.
It's really just a term of endearment, man. Okay. Like if we putting the what up Doe on it, that means, hey, I see you, I respect you, you know, you my peoples, you know. Because Detroiters, I don't know if you know this, we're real standoffish. So we can be that way. So if we greeting you like that, that means we rock with you.
Respect has to be earned.
Exactly.
Yes, and it's the same with the turnover, but like buffs.
Yes.
Not all buffs are created equal.
No.
Like there are different
white sticks.
Gotta have the whites.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I saw. So it was Corey Woods that put out a tweet a month or two ago about it, and it kind of it separated the certain types of. It was interesting.
Yeah, well, the Buffs represent like a status symbol in Detroit. They always have. I remember a time period where people were getting killed over the things.
Really?
Thankfully, we're not in that period no more. Yeah, in the early 2000s, it was bad for like people were wearing Cartiers. I don't know if you remember like. There was a shooting at the Detroit fireworks back in the early 2000s. That was what it was over.
Over buffs?
Yeah. A guy was trying to take another guy's buffs and it wasn't going down like that. So bang, bang. But it's a status symbol. Like it's
that Detroit slang.
Yeah, it means like a lot of Detroiters worked hard to get those pair of buffs, man. So we like to show them off whenever.
Awesome.
Whenever we get the chance.
See, that's the. We need to start sharing stories like I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I know Cade Cunningham brought he kind of reinvigorated or re-energized the Buffs.
He embraced it. I wouldn't say reinvigorated because it was here, but he embraced.
That's
part of Detroit culture, especially like Black Detroit culture is the Buffs, man, and he embraced the city, and that's why people fell in love with him. Like, hey, I'm putting on the Buffs. I'm ready to rock with Detroit. Obviously, it ain't worked out how we planned, but I'm glad he came in day one and wanted to support what the city was about.
Yeah, and I believe that those that are seeking to connect with the city, not just in how you embrace what the culture is, but how you also embrace what it means to be a worker here, man.
Yeah,
that's where things are going to go to the next level, and I think that's what ultimately has had people excited about Cade Cunningham, and why I still believe you should continue to be excited about Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when you look at this guy when he's absolutely rolling, he's one of those next level players. And I know that he's going to continue to work, kind of knowing his family, getting to know his family over the last couple of years, and getting to know his work ethic and to see the type of individual he was, the type of person he is, the type of teammate he is, how he is with the fans. I did an article last year. I didn't even understand his reach, but Cade Cunningham was walking, was after the surgery when he got back. And he was kind of walking in so there's the press conference room to the right, there's a tunnel, and then there's a players club where some of the fans go after the games and whatnot. Seeing him stop and just take all these pictures with fans until they were all done. And he looked over at me, he was like he knows I'm media, but he still knows like, hey man, this is still a dream job for us.
Yeah.
He was like, man, over here, bro. I know you can't initiate this, but come over here, man. Get your picture.
That's what
I was like, are you serious? And he just talked to me for a little bit, gave me some encouraging words. And then when I did the article to talk about my experience, what I saw just there in the Players Club, do you know how many people DM'd me? How many people commented about the fact that they're like, no, Cade does this everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere, man. They moved. When they got to Detroit, they did so many, obviously the Pistons, they're going to put out there when they do their charity events. Cade was doing these things, and I was talking to his family, like Cannon, his brother, and Ashton, his cousin, and his trainer. Like, why are you guys not publicizing this? They were like, I don't know, bro. We just in the city.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Detroit. They went up to Flint. They went to Saginaw. They were going to various places throughout this state, giving back and helping.
Yeah.
For them being a part of this culture, it was more than just the Buffs. So I'm glad that he embraced the culture, but it was also about how he can help and give back and how he can be a part of the community too. And that's why I'm always going to root for them.
Cade is just one of those players. He's so mature, man. You look at him, you almost don't even realize like he's still a kid technically. Yeah. Like he's almost like a grown ass man. Like seriously, like a 30-year-old. But it's part of his mentality, and I love the fact that Detroit superstars are those type of players, low ego, very mature, personal people. Like you look at Calvin, he was like that. You look at Amon-Ra St. Brown now, he's kind of like that. We get very mature stars here, man, and I just love that from him, man. He's absolutely like he embodies what Detroit is about.
KG, not to cut you off there, but
no,
you need to go check and see if you need to be on Big D. They're about to start.
Right. Oh my!
Oh,
yeah. 59. Let me just check and make sure we still doing the show. But
bro, we'll hold on for it. I could go 10 more minutes if we want, but then I gotta cut off. Hey, we'll go see what you got.
In case I don't make it back, I appreciate y'all in the 11. Chat. This was fun. Hey. And my guys, man, it's always a pleasure with y'all.
Definitely, man. Glad you're here, bro.
What up, though?
For sure. What up, though?
There you go. Yo, this has been fun.
Yeah. Should we just say goodbye? Should we call it?
We should.
We gotta go support Big D Energy if they're gonna be on.
We got another
Shane Daniel.
Let's see what he's talking about. Shane, thank you. Big news. What's he saying?
Oh, his daughter, Piper.
Oh, wow.
Big news. Simonette Piper Daniel, born on February 13th.
February, baby.
8:27 p.m. She will only know the brand new Lions.
Y'all
Let's
know
go,
why we're
boys.
having these February babies, right? Stick had his, I had mine, Shane had his. It's because we're going to be celebrating their 1-year birthdays while the Detroit Lions are hoisting
in New Orleans
the Lombardi.
Let's go, Shane. We've been following along this journey the last couple months. Let's go. Congratulations. That's where we gotta end on.
Man. We have to, man. Thank you guys for being here. It's your Wake Up Woodward crew, man. I'm ecstatic that we did this. I am really glad that we did this, man. Thank you guys for supporting and sticking this out with us, man. This was a tough start to the morning, but you guys made it so much better On the way out, definitely hit that like button on the chat on the live stream. But I also need you guys in the comments, not the live chat, but go in the comment. Tell me if you prefer day games, night games, and if you're going to be in the building for the Detroit Red Wings game on February 22nd. We will be there. We want to meet up with you guys. We want to say what up. We want to kind of get some content we can play on the show. Get you guys up on the Woodward socials, man.
And post your social security number, your mother's maiden name, and the school you first went to as a child.
Hey, you know what? This is dope, man. Thanks.
This is awesome.
Tailgate Wins, Speakeasy, some of our brothers for being in the chat.
Thanks for the support, all you guys.
Thank you guys as well, man. This has been awesome, man. And Shane, blessings to you and that new baby girl, man. Definitely. Blessings to all you guys. We're gonna sign out here now. Is there any last words? You already know, man. It's Wake Up Woodward, man.
Let's go.
Wake Up Woodward. We didn't start it right. What up, though? Detroit. We will see you guys
One more.
next time. Good show, brother.